What's up to the Night Owl, to the Maestro, to everybody in the Wrestle Talk family, everybody behind the scenes, everybody in front of the scenes, and of course, the Wrestle Talk audience. My name is Mike Chisholm. This broadcast is being come from the studio right now that's being torn apart so I can make a better studio. Please forgive the very black and not interesting background, but that does not why we're here today. We're here to talk about Wrestle Madness 4, and I'm excited to be a part of this. The greatest light heavyweight wrestler. I love this category. I love being part of this category because I think that we have seen as pro wrestling fans the evolution, of what a light heavyweight can do. Talking about some of these wrestlers from the past that have busted through barriers of all sorts to become, the champion of a promotion, even though they are the size that they are. And over the years, we've seen that evolve in all sorts of ways. Seeing these brackets for this particular part of the competition is so exciting to me. I think of some of these people, some of these guys from all sorts of different promotions, from all sorts of times. When I put in my top 16 for this, it was a pleasure to look at the brackets once they were done to see who made the cut that didn't make my cut, but made it in, where maybe my 17 or 18 or 19 pick or whatever. And then to see some of these people that I've never even thought of before. You know what? And I'll tell you this, there were people that I missed. Owen Hart was a guy that I missed, but there he is, facing Gilbert in the first round. Of course, Chris Jericho. I mean, a guy who, a cruiserweight, and then of course has gone on to become one of the greatest all time. And I mean, he transcends divisions. And I think that there's a lot of people in this category that have transcended divisions. Rey Mysterio, of course, being another one. There's some controversy in this one. We've got, Chris Benoit is in this. I think about guys like Shane Helms, all sorts of different personas within the light heavyweight division. And then people from all sorts of different, like I think of Eddie Guerrero and Bryan Danielson. What a category this is. It's an honor to be a part of it. I'm very, very excited for everything to do with Wrestle Madness 4. I can't wait to be on the show. I believe it's going to be the 22nd here. I think it's the 22nd. I'll be on that show to talk about where we get down to, the final 8 or the final 4. And it's just so great to see the wrestling community come together for events like this. You guys are all amazing. Night Owl, Maestro, you're doing it right. I am excited to be a part of this. The greatest light heavyweight wrestler, Wrestle Madness 4. My name is Mike Chisholm, and I will see you soon.
Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to the Wrestle Talk podcast. For the next 2 hours, we will bring you the latest pro wrestling news, in-depth analysis of all your favorite promotions from across the globe, and much, much more. We will also bring you exclusive interviews with the greatest professional wrestling personalities on the local, national, and international levels. If you want to follow the Wrestle Talk podcast, check us out online at www.wrestletalkpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And now, it's time for the reigning, defending, undisputed leader in pro wrestling podcast, the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome
to
the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
We are going to have Wrestle Madness 4 right here. You heard Mike Chisholm at the top of the show. He's going to be joining us later this evening as we break down the greatest light heavyweight in professional wrestling history. It's going to be a great discussion from top to bottom. And tonight's discussion of Wrestle Madness 4 would not be complete without my broadcast colleagues, the men who know just a little bit about professional wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and introduce first the man that everybody knows, simply put, as the Night Owl, Renee Martinez.
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? loyal members of the Wrestle Talk family. What a pleasure it is to be here, not only for episode 418 Skywalker, but it's also a World Cup day where Mexico didn't lose. Yay! But more importantly, Wrestle Madness 4, baby. You can't beat that.
Most definitely, Night Owl. And you know something? Tonight is going to be a night of all nights because we're going to have a little bit of everybody here. I'm going to go ahead and bring along another one of our broadcast colleagues who's going to be joining us tonight as a part of Wrestle Madness 4. You can see him on Roundabout Sports. You can see him on Interstate 70 Sports Media. And tonight, you can see him right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Let's welcome him back. The one, the only, the maestro, Jeremy Karp. Jeremy, how are you doing tonight, sir? Are you ready for Wrestle Madness 4?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you all so much. Oh, guys, I am psyched. I've loved the first 3 Wrestle Madness episodes. And at the night, if I heard him correctly, episode 418, time really does fly, man. I tell you, I am just loving every moment of this. So it's going to be one hell of a show tonight, gentlemen.
Well, you know something? As the Night Owl's taking care of things, Night Owl, I'm going to make sure you get that drink taken care of and get things down, because I was made aware last week that our committee is not complete here tonight on the program until we add one more. Everybody knows who he is. He's the man around town. He is one of the originators of the Wrestle Talk podcast, all the way from episode 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the only Nightmare Jones, Joe Letts. Joe,
what is up, everybody? How are we doing? It has been far too long. I had to be here for this. I had to be here for Wrestle Madness 4. Like, I was here since the first one. I was the one that used my golden ticket on the demolition round 1.
Trash.
Joe, you know something, man? We're never going to forget that. Unless you do something crazy like that tonight. I got to tell you, tonight's going to be a great night of professional wrestling discussion. If you want to join our conversation, make it a point to send us a comment. We've already had several comments put up here on the chat already this evening. Again, we're going to be breaking this down from 64-1. Dean Houston shouting out, what's up? I know we've also got Dave Ruby joining us here. Looking forward to the madness. We also have Herb Simmons. And, of course, I got to tell you right now, simply put, Night Owl, Assad had one great comment, but right there, I think that says it all. Joe, everybody's here. And I'm going to tell you, tonight's going to be a great night, gentlemen. But we also have a lot of professional wrestling to talk about here. The boys are all back together. You are right, Herb Simmons. We're here tonight, episode 418. And I got to tell you, tonight, I have been looking forward to this. We're 2 nights away from the start of the holiday season. And I'm going to tell you right now, if this message right here on the message chat is Demolition got smashed in round number 1,
No, they didn't.
an indicator of
Joe wasn't going to let that happen.
That is true. That is true. Well, like I said, guys, before we get tonight started, let's go ahead real quick here. We would first want to say thank you to all of our viewers who tune in each and every week right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, without who this show does not function the way that it does each and every week. You know something? I'm going to throw this out here, and we're going to put it simple. Do you want to go ahead and talk about another group of individuals, Night Owl, who helps make this show run each and every week?
Well, there's no question about it. This episode, the Wrestle Talk podcast in general, and really the FWWC for that matter, would not be possible if it weren't for all of our wonderful sponsors, including the following: Royal Mills Transportation, Rathbun Engraving, of course, Nobleman's Barber Lounge. As a matter of fact, Fury, my boy, has got an appointment there tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. See you there, Angel. Kincaid Arcade, by the way, guys, they've got lots of events going on, Smash Bro tournaments. They do podcasts there. We're going to be doing here one in the near future. Make sure you check them out. I-70 Sports Media, the Empire, headed by the dark one, my man Jeremy Karp. Little Popeye Designs, and, of course, the aforementioned world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, folks, the FWWC. From mi corazon to corazon, it is greatly, greatly appreciated.
Well, you know something, Night Owl? We were talking about the FWWC last week. And again, you're only a couple days away from Survivor Series for the FWWC as well. So you need to make sure that you're keeping a point to check out on social media. And as a reminder, that great hashtag, Let's Talk Wrestling, that's what we're going to be doing right here tonight. We're going to be talking Wrestle Madness 4 right here. I'm going to tell you right here again, all 64, we're going to be talking professional wrestling all night long. But you know something, gentlemen, and I can't believe we're going to say this, Night Owl, for a first time in a long time, as we always get things done each and every week to keep things official. Tonight, since he's here, I have to say, I'm going to pass the baton over to the originator, the one and the only Nightmare Jones, because he's the one that takes care of this oh so well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time to take off your hat, put your hand over your heart, and stand for the greatest country. That's America, damn it!
Hit it, guys! Maestro's already got a migraine.
Wow. How you doing, Jonesy?
That does not bring a tear to my eye. That brings blood to my ears.
Hearing anthems like that make me glad that they tied Wales.
Come on, guys. You can't blame the whole country for one lady's terrible singing. What's wrong with you guys?
I mean...
Wow. Well, guys,
I gotta go back to Carl Lewis.
we got copyrighted for that. We can't go back.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Nonsense.
Yeah, that's because nobody wants to put a copyright on that shitty rendition.
Well, somebody did. Somebody
No,
else.
not
Nobody's on the Roseanne one. That's
what
fair.
I'm saying. No, Carl Lewis, yes. I mean, I understand that, but Roseanne's.
Hey, take it easy. Take it easy on my Jews, okay, bro? You gotta relax.
Look, if there's anybody that knows how to take it, if there's anybody that knows how to take it easy on Jewish people, it's me. It's everybody else I got to worry about.
We got a Roseanne. Hey, guys, I'll tell you what. Cheap shots aside, tonight's episode is quite curious because we've got surprises on top of all of the Wrestle Madness information that Luke Skywalker Roberts is going to educate us on and give us the opportunity to have opinions on. But I do want to say this because High Spots usually follows this moment here. But I just want to say 418, I think Maestro said it very eloquently, and I just want to kind of pile on. Joey, thank you. Thank Rick. Thank Carrie. Thank your beautiful family, Rick's family. If it wasn't for you two goofballs somewhere in somebody's basement all those years ago, we would not be where we are today. So just know, bro, we will always give you your props. We will always be indebted to you. And really, the wisdom that you had to let other people be a part of the show is something that I emulated. Because you know that when you had to step away, we started adding other hosts. We had a lot of different personalities. We got Justin out in Seattle. You know, we got you guys and Big Hoss out on the East Coast. We're dominating the Midwest. I mean, we have really, really, really gone a long way. But none of it would have been possible without you, Nightmare Jones. So for that reason, we're going to pay our respects and hit you with this.
Never drew a dime. Not a dime.
Not a dime.
My bad. It slipped. My finger slipped. My bad. Okay. My finger.
Never drew a dime. Not a dime. I still love that.
My finger slipped a little bit. My bad.
I still love that.
Well, gentlemen, before we get High Spot started this evening, I do want to share a little bit of information. I, to be honest with you, I did not get a chance to share it with you in the pre-show meeting earlier today. And again, I apologize, but I do need to share this. Night Owl, as you're very well aware, had an opportunity while we were at the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion to meet a good friend who has since been on the program, and a matter of fact, was a part of the Wrestle Madness committee, that being Stuart Kemp. I do want to let you know that back at the tail end of October, his wife passed away. I know that there was a very good story. If you get an opportunity, caulifloweralleyclub.org, talking about her life and the commitment she had to professional wrestling. Again, I want to give a personal condolence to Stuart, his family. Like I said, I had an opportunity to really hang out with him this year at the CAC, and nobody should have to go through that experience. And again, I want to express on behalf of myself and the Wrestle Talk podcast our condolences to Stuart Kemp and his family with the passing of his wife.
Well, Skywalker, I can only say that that reason and that reason alone, forget getting to meet JBL, Jerry the King Lawler, Jeff Jarrett, getting to hang out with some of my best buds in the whole world. Like, that's all a cherry on top, my friends, to what the CAC stands for. It is truly a brotherhood, and it has changed over the years. But you know what? Being more inclusive, to our earlier kind of teasing around, is a positive thing for everybody, because getting fans and guys that are support staff, as you like to say, Skywalker, in the world of professional wrestling, giving us an opportunity to rub elbows with those folks, that's what makes us want to donate. That's what makes us want to contribute. That's what makes us want to be members of places like the Cauliflower Alley Club, because when our brothers in arms go through things like this, the support that you need is there. Maybe CAC won't take care of all of it. Maybe your fans and your friends won't take care of all of it, but together as a community, I think we can make a huge difference in people's lives. And I think organizations just like, and they're not the only ones, but like CAC, that's what they're constructed for. Let the reunions and stuff like that be a cherry on top. But the fact that you know that your $20, your $250, whatever it is now, is going to make a difference in someone's lives in the worst possible moment, to me, that speaks volumes.
Couldn't agree with you more, Night Owl. And like I said, I believe there's also a GoFundMe as well to help take care of a final effect.
If you can shoot me the link to that, I will post it during today's show.
I'll
let one of you guys find that.
I'll make sure to get that taken care of here in just a few moments, Night Owl. But you know something? We have just a few minutes. We're going to get Wrestle Madness started here in just a few moments. But I think there's a couple of really pressing issues in the world of professional wrestling.
I have an announcement as well.
All right, you can go. I'm going to go ahead and hand the floor to you, Night Owl. This is a night of important historic information here on the Wrestle Talk podcast.
Answer this question, guys. When do we ever broadcast and not do something worth watching? Every single week, whether it's I-70 or whether it's me speaking to you or it's Wrestle Talk podcast, everyone within our network every week is worth watching. And this week, I'm going to bring some news to you guys that may be a bummer to some and may be super exciting for other people, depending on what side of the fence that you're on. So allow me, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make an announcement about me. And this announcement, it may sound selfish on the outset, but quite honestly, it is based in nothing but a lack of self-centeredness. And what I mean by that is that as of today, your boy, the Night Owl, is officially taking a hiatus from commentary in the world of professional wrestling. I have absolutely been on a high. 2022 has been the best year in my professional commentary career, but that still does not take precedent over what's most important, which is my familia and my health. And for those two reasons, I am, from this point forth, no longer going to be doing commentary for any company, including AWR, KCXW, XWE, and UUCW. Renee Martinez, the Night Owl, will be taking 2023 to try to get this weight situation under control and to also spend all those Saturdays that I spend on the road. And a lot of the boys that watch this back are going to be able to relate to this. Every single Saturday, sometimes 2 a month, I'm away from my family and not focusing on where I should. My boy's 13, my daughter is 10. This is the time to step away and focus on building the legacy, and that legacy can only be carried out throughout the people that come after you, as Nightmare Jones knows very well as it relates to the Wrestle Talk podcast. So let this be my formal announcement that the Night Owl will not be taking any bookings in a commentary capacity for all of 2023. And all I can really say is thank you to every last person, promotion fan, performer, support staff that ever looked my way and even grinned and gave me the affirmation that I needed to have just a sliver of success in the world of professional wrestling. I could very well continue on to my goal of one day doing commentary for MLW, and that pursuit may continue. But as far as 2023, the Night Owl will not be doing any commentary work. So that is my announcement. Hopefully it sits well with everybody. If not, well, no, I'm just kidding. I love you guys too, but I'm just saying I got to do what's important for my family and for my health, and hopefully everybody will respect that.
And Night Owl, I got to tell you right now, speaking not just from being in professional wrestling, but being a very close friend of yours, I have to give you kudos because it's one of those things where family's got to come first. And I totally agree with you in the idea of where there's many a time that being on the road, like you said, 2, 3, 4 weekends a month, if not more, and again, spending all that time away. I mean, again, I know full well there's been a lot of anniversaries, birthdays, major holidays that I've missed because of the world of professional wrestling. And you can't get that time back. And again, to be able to step out with your family and be able to enjoy that quality time, I have to give you nothing but props, sir. And again, a round of applause for making that kind of a decision. I mean, it's a tough one, but again, to me, I agree with you. Family does come first. And I'm going to go ahead and throw things over here. I know that the Maestro has something that he would like to add as well. Again, we got a comment here from Herb Simmons as well, longtime promoter here in the St. Louis area. Jeremy, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you.
I love that quote, by the way. Congratulations. There'll always be wrestling, only one life. I love that. So, and good. Now that the Night Owl is taking a break from doing commentary, I might actually start tuning into those promotions again.
Yeah, I threw that out earlier for a reason. You mother! I'll drink to that.
So, as you notice, folks, there are 4 of us gentlemen here. And starting with the originator over there, Nightmare Jones. But there was a lot more on this team that are not here on this show. And that's Big Sexy Chris Rodell, Hardcore Hoss, Sonny Money Mayo. We just added Justin Waits to this show as part of our family. And I want to shout them out because even if they're not here right now, this whole show, everything doesn't go without them, just as much as it does without all of us and without all of you tuning in. So big shout out to everybody who's not on the show right now, who especially, I got to give a special shout out to Big Sexy Chris Rodell, who has been a freaking workhorse over these past few months on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Dude has been kicking ass. So much love to all you guys, and that'll do it for me. So,
well, you know something, gentlemen, I want to throw this out here real quick before we throw it to Nightmare Jones. To give you an idea here, we're talking about a lot of important things, and again, we're going to have an opportunity here. Nightmare Jones is one of those. He's very eloquent with his words. He is a very linguistic individual. So we're going to go ahead and throw things over to our originator, our brother, our colleague, and the man with the golden pipes. Ladies and gentlemen, a word from Nightmare Jones.
It's great to be back. It's been quite a while since I've been back on the podcast, and it's just great to be back with Jeremy and Renee and Luke, and I wish that Big Sexy could be here, and Chris Rodell and Sonny Money Mayo, and I know we're going to have a great night tonight. This could be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of laughs, and we got a lot of stuff we got to go through. A lot.
And just for the record, there is no demolition tonight, Joe.
I know.
Just remind you of that.
The only demolition is going to be his pick. That's
Night Owl, I think we've got something for that. I really do.
Do we? What do we got?
I think so. I think he took the opening salvo. I really do. I think he took the opening shot tonight. We're talking Wrestle Madness 4. I think he took the first shot.
No, Jeremy definitely took the first shot. I think he hinted that you might be an anti-Semite. So I'm just saying. Yeah, I think he was first.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, considering the fact we are at 7:30, and again, I know for a fact a lot of people have been waiting for 30 minutes now here to talk about Wrestle Madness. You know what, guys? If you're all right with it, I think tonight, because this is a special show, let's go ahead and we'll kind of put High Spots on hold because we do need to come back to it. I do think there's a couple of major things we need to talk about, but I think right now we definitely need to jump into the world of Wrestle Madness.
Hey, Roberts, what if we promise them this?
Okay.
What if we promise them that either in between some of the topics and some of the breakdowns, we'll throw up a high spot, because there's no way we can get through this show and not talk about Full Gear, right? Like,
that is true. That is
how could we not?
How could we not? Let's go ahead and I'll take a survey here. Let's go ahead and get the first two brackets of the opening round done, and then we'll throw a High Spots question.
I like it. Let's do it. Yeah.
We'll get 16 matches in. Okay, now here's the deal for those that haven't been a part of Wrestle Madness in the past. It's a 64-team single elimination bracket. We choose two individuals. We get an opportunity to talk about them. We make the choice as to who we think would win in that fantasy matchup. Now, each of the four hosts in this particular case have what is called a golden ticket. That golden ticket will allow you to move any one wrestler automatically on to the next round. However, if another host chooses to also use the golden ticket, it basically nullifies the original golden ticket, and both are gone. So at this point, I do have one other thing at the request of Nightmare Jones, and that is you cannot use your golden ticket in the final four.
I agree.
I actually think that's great.
So
we can actually have a real vote.
Exactly.
I like
it. Well, gentlemen, I got to tell you right now, this one for me, first matchup of the tournament, is definitely a big-time matchup. You have Rey Mysterio taking on Hiromu Takahashi for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Guys, I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to do a lot of discussion here. I'm just going to go ahead and flat out say, based on my personal favorites in the world of professional wrestling right now, I'm going to go ahead and throw my vote out here without any discussion. Hiromu Takahashi advances.
Wow.
Ooh. And guys, we do have 32 opening round matches to get through, so we'll throw out maybe our opinions here and there, but we do have quite a few matches, so make sure that we're keeping it moving, guys.
I'll go next on this one. So, look, been a wrestling fan for over 15 years. God, well over, probably almost 20. And I got to go with the guy I grew up with watching, and that's the man himself, Mr. Rey Mysterio.
Ooh, very strong, very strong. What do you got for us, Joe Nightmare Jones?
This one's a really, really, really tough one, but I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I'm gonna go with Rey Mysterio.
Very, very nice. And you know what? I have no doubt in my mind that Tanahashi has all the same credentials, or potentially maybe even better credentials than Rey Mysterio, though I know Rey is more well-traveled, but I just do not know enough. So short of pleading the fifth, I choose Rey Mysterio.
And I throw my golden ticket.
What?
Challenge me.
Wow. Wow. Skywalker, can you explain to us why you felt...
Got him!
I look at it from the perspective of Hiromu Takahashi has been through many career-changing injuries, multiple IWGP reigns, known for traveling all around the world, much like Rey Mysterio. But I'm going to tell you right now, you want... Again, some people say shock and awe. Here it is. Takahashi defeats Rey Mysterio unless somebody wants to challenge me.
No, because what kind of crazy host would ever use their...
Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This host is going to use his golden ticket in the first round as well. And let me tell you why. Because on a previous Wrestle Madness, the best possible person was eliminated, in my opinion, and I can't, the name will come to me later, but somebody that should have been in the final was eliminated in the first round, and I refuse to let that happen this time. So you know what? We're going to go back to the vote because I'm using my golden ticket on this exact bracket as well. Rey Mysterio is going to advance whether you like it or not, Skywalker.
Well, how is it that you are I'm going to get this quickly out of the way. How is it that you're campaigning for somebody from a previous tournament, and yet you can't even remember the name of the person from the previous tournament?
Because I remember how it made me feel, and I don't remember the details. I remember being highly offended. I'm like, how is this person already eliminated? I was so upset. It'll come to me again. But I was like, how could this system is flawed. And that's why we put the golden tickets in here.
Long tourney.
Oh, it's not, baby, because we're moving up to the next one right now.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our next tournament matchup is Phil LaFon versus Angel Acevedo. To give you a little bit of information, Phil LaFon is known, professionally was known as Doug Cravat. He was also known as Phil LaFon in the WWF. WWE, to give you a little bit of background information, competed in All Japan Pro Wrestling, ECW, the WWF, former All Asia Tag Team Champion, former ECW Tag Team Champion, champions down in WWC in Puerto Rico. His opponent being the Cuban assassin Angel Acevedo, known in a lot of circles in Puerto Rico and countless other promotions, including the Pacific Northwest. Former Stampede Wrestling, 6-time international champion, former champion on countless different occasions with the World Wrestling Council in Puerto Rico, a member also of the 2012 Canadian Wrestling Hall of Fame. Gentlemen, I got to tell you right now, this is a definite matchup that a lot of people are going to, may not necessarily know, but I think it's definitely a match that needs to be on this bracket. Let's go ahead. We got some people already chiming in here. Nightmare Jones, I'm going to throw this to you.
I'm not really familiar with either of the wrestlers, but I do remember watching Phil LaFon in WWF and in ECW, so I'm going with Phil.
All right. Let's move on to the Maestro.
So I know that Phil LaFon was voted one of the most underrated wrestlers back in the late 80s, and he was also, along with Doug Framas, a part of the match of the year in a tag team match. And much like my contemporary Nightmare Jones, I know the Can-Am Express I'm familiar with. So with that, I'm going Phil LaFon.
There you go.
You know, I'm like I said, I'm kind of on the border here between the two. I'm kind of on that balance. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give by just a slight nudge. And I am a fan of wrestling in Japan, but I'm going to give the nudge in this case to Angel Acevedo.
And you know what, Skywalker? I am going to echo your choice. For this reason, I think there is a North American bias in some of these Wrestle Madness competitions. So, and I made some notes of some of the stuff that bothered me from last time. So we're going to rectify that. Angel is in multiple halls of fame, ranked as a top 20 Latino pro wrestling and pro wrestling history, and one of the few notable wrestlers ever to come out of the country of Cuba. So for that reason, I'm going with Angel as well.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after our discussion of 2 versus 2, we had, as a part of the committee, we have made the decision that we are going to go with a very bureaucratic decision. The top member of the bracket will be classified as heads on a coin flip. Tails will be for the bottom half.
I got a better idea. Why don't we look at the comment section? Let's see who people are voting for.
Well, if
Wrestle Talk, listen, we'll come back to this one in a second. Wrestle Talk podcast family. There are at least a half dozen of you guys watching right now live, and everybody that watches on the replay, which is a majority of our viewership. We thank you just the same. But I want to see everyone who's watching. There's 4 people. I'm sure we'll get at least a couple of votes.
Okay.
Who do you guys believe should move on? Phil LaFon or Angel Acevedo? Let us know. We'll come back to this before we're done with bracket number 1. Is that okay with everybody?
I'm cool with that. Let's let our viewers make some determinations here. Let's then have this interactive part of the Wrestle Talk podcast right here tonight. Let's go ahead, speaking of which, and move on to the next matchup.
You got it, bud. Let's move on to the next one.
And Gerald Briscoe.
Ooh.
And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people view Gerald Briscoe as nothing more than the Stooge. But Gerald Briscoe is a former NWA World Tag Team Champion, former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion. Billy Kidman, I mean, the reputation speaks for himself. Also, I believe now a producer for the WWE. This case here, Night Owl, I'm going to start with you.
This was pretty easy to me, okay? In doing my research, which I wish everybody would do, not in reference of the Wrestle Talk podcast, but I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, it's okay to enjoy the current product, but go back and learn a little bit about your past. I did it, and let me tell you, it is the Alice in Wonderland adventure of a lifetime when you go back and explore wrestling the way that I've tried to over the last couple of years. But this one's easy for me, man. I'm going to go with Gerald Briscoe. I mean, not only is he well-known and let's just say commemorated for everything he did during the Attitude Era and everything that he contributed to the WWE, but in his own right, as an individual professional wrestler, highly successful, ran with the best of them, had countless championships, and still continues to make waves and to influence the way that we look at wrestling, how we absorb professional wrestling, the concept of matches and all that, man. All that stuff was just starting to come to fruition during the era of Gerald Briscoe and beyond, man. So the man, I mean, I think the argument is already kind of making the case for itself. It's Gerald Briscoe all day. All
right, we got one vote for Gerald Briscoe. Let's go to the Maestro.
Gerald Briscoe, short, sweet, and to the point.
All right, Nightmare Jones, what do you think?
Moving to the next round, Gerald Briscoe.
And I'm gonna add the complete the complete 4 votes. Gerald Briscoe moving on to the next round, defeating Billy Kidman 4-0. Now the next matchup definitely brings a lot of interesting information to the table. You have Super Crazy, known for many years on the Lucha Libre circuit, as well as a former ECW television champion, also spent time in the WWE, taking on the Cobra, George Takano. Now, a lot of people may not know George Takano, but wrestled in Stampede Wrestling, wrestled in the IWGP, was in the finals of the inaugural IWGP Junior Heavyweight title tournament in 1986, former Stampede British Commonwealth mid-heavyweight champion, former 2-time NWA World Junior Champion, former IWGP Tag Champion, and former WWF Junior Heavyweight Champion. A lot of credentials for the Cobra here. Let's go ahead and start this one off with the Maestro.
Oh, I know a lot of it is more than just the name, but I mean, this is the thing. The Night Owl earlier was talking about international stars and the lack of appreciation that they get, talking about North American bias, if you will. Well, Super Crazy, I mean, the promotional list that he's been on runs rampant, from All Japan to ECW, the IWA, multiple different branches of the NWA, Pro Wrestling Noah, Extreme WCW. Latin American Wrestling, WCW, WWE, multiple Luchas de Apuestas records matches in his career. And, I feel like he's just a very he's well traveled across the world. And I mean, he's somebody who I'm more fond and familiar with. And for that reason, I got to go with Super Crazy.
All right. We have 1 vote for Super Crazy. Let's move it on to Nightmare Jones.
Super Crazy, I've seen him wrestle, multiple times, and, he is a very, 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 very good wrestler, and so was the Cobra, but I'm going to go with Super Crazy.
All righty, we got 2 votes. Night Owl, what do you think?
Super Crazy for me as well.
All right, well, I'm going to tell you right now, even though it's not going to matter because we've already made our decision unless Jeremy or Joe wants to change their vote and use their golden ticket. I would still go with the Cobra.
One of you really has to love Super Crazy to do that, or the Cobra to pull that out of the bag.
So, at this point, we have made the decision. Super Crazy is moving on to the next round. We're going to go ahead and take just a second here, gentlemen. I think we need to, at this point in time, go back and fill that final vacancy in the top half of the first bracket.
All right. Let's remind everybody of which way we voted. I went with Angel.
I also went with Angel.
I went with Phil LaFon, as did the Nightmare Jones.
That's right.
And looking here at our chat, which we thank all the great viewers that have been chiming in here. I'm going to say right now, considering that we have only one that's made reference here in the comment.
And I will throw it out. Let's give them about 15 seconds, guys. We need your help deciding this round one matchup. Phil LaFon versus Angel Acevedo. Please let us know as quickly as you can. We have one vote in. You could potentially knock that vote and tie it up again. We'll give you guys another 10, 15 seconds to see if anybody else chimes in, because it seems like if we're going just off what we're seeing right now, Angel's going to be moving on. 5, 4,
Please, LaFon,
3,
please, LaFon.
2, 1. And that does it. I think that settles it. Skywalker, what do you say?
I agree. Angel Acevedo moving on to the round of 32.
Love to hear that. Let me get that moved over. And shout out to my guy, Josh Elliott, from the I-70 Hot Tag. I saw him earlier in the comments section. Glad you love the concept, man. We've been doing this for a while. We like to keep it a little old school, kind of going with the old-fashioned Excel presentation. And we like it that way because we're pro wrestling nerds and we ain't afraid to admit it, damn it.
Oh, now if we could manage to get some of the great folks at the at that company that's called Microsoft to possibly be interested in the Wrestle Talk podcast, that would be a great thing too.
Let's go, baby. Let's send an email.
All right, now, next one. Great matchup here. Bryan Danielson versus Pero Aguayo. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to throw this out here, and I just got to say, I think based on track record, I'm going to go with the Dragon.
Ooh, very nice choice there. Who wants to go next?
Let's go with Nightmare Jones on this one. Well,
Nightmare, what say you? I know this is a tough one.
Gotta remember, we're looking for Pero Aguayo.
Jonesy, I think Jonesy's a little Okay, senior. Okay, that's my mistake. Yeah. I'm gonna pull that out for you.
Like I said, that is a very well-known family in the world of Lucha Libre. We'll go ahead and pull Pero Aguayo Senior up here as well. Let's go ahead and real quick and go to the Maestro. Maestro, who do you think?
Oh, this is a tough one, but you know what? You will be hard-pressed to find over the past 25, 30 years one of the better wrestlers that fall into this category as the Dragon Bryan Danielson. So he's my pick.
All righty. Well, let's go ahead, Night Owl. I'll go ahead and throw it back to you.
So I just wanted to pull up the Wikipedia page here for, again, all my wrestling nerds. And we do have a vote in here from one of our loyal listeners. Shout out to Susie Haas. Good luck, by the way, in your SummerSlam match against El Mata and Saint for that Warriors Heart Championship. I just wanted to point out for those.
Night Owl, it's Survivor Series, not SummerSlam. You're getting a
okay, sorry. The two S's, bro. The two S's. And I'm reading while I'm talking, so my bad. Okay, so just for background's sake, born in 1946, passed in 2019 at age of 73, first ever WWF light heavyweight champion. And we are taking into account that, the light heavyweight championship aspect is a major, major, major deal here. Despite what some of the light heavyweights and the success that they have, in the heavyweight division. But again, El Santo, Terry Funk, Bruno San Martino, just some of his rivals. Now, with all that said, as great as El Perro is, few people have ever captivated the pro wrestling world the way that Bryan Danielson did during the Yes Movement. We still see, Maestro, the Yes chant in college sports. Yes. We see it in professional. It is a worldwide phenomenon, and that will endure forever. So for that reason, I as well am going with Bryan Danielson.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we've got 3 votes for the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. We're going to be joined momentarily here by Nightmare Jones. Right now, we'll go ahead and, for the time being, tentatively put the Dragon in here. But again, that may be one of those where it may change if the if the Nightmare Jones decides to make it.
The Nightmare Jones.
Nightmare Jones.
That's okay. The Nightmare Owl.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's move on.
Don't associate him with me. Don't associate him with me. Don't do that.
Let's move on to our next matchup here. A matchup with 2 individuals that may not necessarily be extremely familiar, but the names will ring a bell. You have Paul London, very well-known light heavyweight wrestler, spent some time in WWE, former, I believe, SmackDown Tag Team Champion. Pardon me, taking on Nightmare Danny Davis. Now, for those that don't know, Danny Davis is known for years as being one of the people behind the OVW promotion. A lot of the training of OVW. Also was a member of the Nightmares tag team with Ken Wayne, who we'll be seeing later on in the tournament. Gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, me personally here, I'm going to go old school just because of the knowledge base and the reputation inside the squared circle. And I'm going to go with Danny Davis.
Ooh, Danny D. Maestro.
Man. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I wanted so badly to see Paul London. First off, I was glad he was in this tournament. I remember his historic reign that he had with Brian Kendrick in the tag team division that paved the way for tag teams like the New Day and the Usos as far as long title reigns in WWE. But we're talking about a guy who was the founder among his wrestling accolades, in the NWA, AWA, Deep South Wrestling. This guy was also the founder of Ohio Valley Wrestling. Think of all the amazing wrestlers that have come out of OVW over the years and the impact that they've made on the wrestling landscape. And for that reason, I'm going with Nightmare Danny Davis.
Well, and not to mention, Maestro, and I love your point about OVW. OVW is the actual, I believe, is actually the only professional wrestling school that is accredited. And you can actually get a college credit for attending OVW. That in itself, I think, gives a credibility to the sport that is hard to compare to, because there is no other school in the entire country. And there's a School of Morton. We all know about the Monster Factory. I mean, there are a lot of tremendous places, but to be so well respected and in the business, to be accredited, I think that speaks volumes. So along with you, sir, I'm going to go with Nightmare.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, gentlemen, I had an opportunity to do a little bit of research here as well. And again, just the turn. I mean, looking at tournaments this man has been in. AWA Southern Tag Team Title Tournament was actually in a tournament for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship #1 contendership, the Continental Wrestling Federation Tag Championships, USWA Global Wrestling Federation, Smoky Mountain, countless different tournaments to be in, pushing 45 years in the sport of pro wrestling. And as we can see right now, Danny Davis moving on, at least tentatively, to the next round with a 3-0 victory over Paul London. And once again, we will be confirming these once Nightmare Jones returns to the broadcast here momentarily. Now, the next matchup, I'm going to tell you, this is one of those that a lot of fans were shocked by. Shane Helms taking on the legendary El Santo. Night Owl?
He says Shane Helms. I'm gonna let you be surprised.
No. El Santo, bro. Come on, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's the Hulk Hogan of professional wrestling outside of the United States, bro. I mean, not just in Mexico, not just in Latin America, bro. El freaking Santo. El Santo grossed more at the box office than any other wrestler, probably besides The Rock. I mean, people don't know this about El Santo. He had his own TV show. He had cartoons. He was the top wrestler for many, many years. They created a whole show, El Mascarado de Plata, after El Santo and his legacy. So, dude, El Santo, boom.
I'm going to throw another one here at you, Night Owl. The man was buried in his mask. How many people in the world of professional wrestling would go that far? From my understanding, I remember watching something not through social media, it was through like a documentary. He took his mask off in the public.
That's what I was going to get at.
One time, and it was less than a month before he passed away.
Yes,
that's dedication to the persona. That's dedication to the sport. 2 words: El Santo.
Wow. So, shoe in.
All right, so we got 2 votes for El Santo. Thankfully, I have a golden ticket. No, I'm kidding. Not a chance.
How much is that man paying you?
Right.
I worry if Shane Helms was paying you off for that.
Yeah, there is not a chance in hell. I think the Night Owl said it perfectly about outside of the United States, the impact that El Santo had. I mean, he's up there. He ranks, in my opinion, above even Blue Demon and Mil Mascaras as far as iconic luchadors. Tens of thousands of people were lining the streets when this man died as his coffin was being carried throughout the city. I mean, this was an icon, is an icon. The statue still stands tall. So there is no doubt about it. And I think everybody who's tuning in needs to really keep an eye on this because he's one of the favorites to win it all, El Santo.
By the way, Nightmare Jones will be rejoining us momentarily. Go ahead, Skywalker.
Well, I tell you right now, we're going to move El Santo on to the next round. And I'm going to tell you right now, this next matchup was one of those that I had countless people sending me messages on social media. Why is this next match even taking place in the Wrestle Madness 4 tournament? We have Gilbert, Dwayne Gill, former guest of the show, taking on the Rocket, the King of Hearts, the Black Heart, Owen Hart. Guys, I'm just going to put it right there right now. Jeremy is saying my answer without me saying a word. Owen Hart. End of discussion.
Let's move down to that matchup.
Why? No, and the thing of it is, you are going to sit here and listen to what I have to say, to quote a friend of mine who gets on my nerves, but I love him to death. Anyway, why in the hell is Gilbert in this tournament? And later on, I know we're going to talk a little bit briefly over some of the names, and you'll notice some of the names that aren't in this tournament. And then I want you all to think back.
That's always my biggest beef.
Gilbert is here. Keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Gilbert.
No. Hush.
Gilbert. No. Gilbert.
It hurts.
Hey. I'll do you one better. You ready?
Go ahead.
Are you ready? I don't think you're ready.
I think that the Maestros had enough. enough. Jeremy, we'll throw it back to you.
You all right, bro? Maestro? You know what's funny? I think he actually likes Gilbert more than he likes the real Goldberg, and that's a shoot.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. You can. Oh, good. Let's get Nightmare Jones on here. I want to ask him on this one. So,
got him. Got him.
What's that? What's up?
Jonesy,
Joey's back. The kid's
Jonesy,
back.
I got to ask you a question.
Yes.
Look straight ahead and look at what this matchup is, and tell me, like what?
You know
Why
what?
is Gilbert here?
You know why? Because it doesn't matter. Because I'm using my golden ticket on Dwayne Gill.
Yes, Joey.
What? Jeremy.
Why? Yes. Do it, Joey. Do it,
Jeremy.
Joey.
Are you going to use it the first round? Are you going to use it? What are you going to do?
Bitch.
See, Maestro, that's what you don't realize, bro. You come on here and you try to shit talk a little bit, and it always backfire on your ass, bro.
Jeremy, you still got an opportunity here. You still have your ticket.
He's not going to waste his ticket. He's not going to. He's too smart for that. The folks, Joey, you got super duper heat right now with the fam.
I'm used to the heat, so that's okay.
That's why Cahagas kicked your ass, boy.
ACP would be ashamed.
Jeremy, you still have your golden ticket.
Do you not know how many wrestlers we still have to go through? Look, you advance your jobber. You advance your jobber because at one point in this tournament, each one of you is going to want a wrestler advancing, and I'm going to wait for my opportunity. So just you wait.
Wow.
I can't believe this. Some horse shit.
Well, you got them Sheiky vibes going right now, my guy. I cannot believe I just copied and pasted that. I can't, dear goodness.
All right, well now, since Nightmare Jones is back, to give you an idea, we're going to scroll back up here real quick and bring you up to speed here on what you missed
quick,
while
Jonesy,
you're
quick
there.
fire.
The first match, Bryan Danielson versus Perro Aguayo.
Can we go from the bottom up so that folks can keep up with us visually?
El Santo and Shane Helms.
Okay, I can understand that.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What do you got?
Oh, El Santo.
We still need your vote. Your vote could change the result. We're not going to tell you how everyone voted. You just give us your opinion.
Yeah, didn't you know Renee voted Shane Helms?
Man, you might be crazy.
El Santo.
All right, El Santo. All right, so that stays the same.
Paul London versus Nightmare Danny Davis.
Nightmare Danny Davis, absolutely.
Joey, I love you so much.
All right, and our other bracket here. If we can move our technology up.
Wait a second. I'm actually pulling up the next bracket. Take it easy on me, okay?
Well, fine.
I'm already trying to get bracket 2 ready to go because that's coming up in just a moment. So I'm trying to scroll back up, but it's somewhat wanting to cooperate, but not really. So maybe just read it off if you don't mind.
We got Bryan Danielson versus Perro Aguayo.
Bryan Danielson, absolutely.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you thought the first bracket was intense, you thought the first bracket was going to bring a lot of chaos to the show.
Hey, Gilbert beat Owen Hart.
That is so legendary.
You know what? That sounds like so WWF too. The way they treated Owen Hart, that sounds about right. So
That's almost reminiscent of Demolition moving on in the first round.
yeah.
What you don't think Demolition moved on from the first round, or they didn't? I thought they went to the final.
They almost did.
They almost did.
Oh my goodness, Joey! I love how you show up.
They lost like they deserved to lose because the real ones, the Road Warriors, won.
Oh well, yeah, exactly. And that's the way that it should be because ultimately, I mean, we want to have fun with it, and we want to have laughs or whatever. But but we also want to retain some semblance of impartiality and legitimacy.
Oh, there was that.
So we're not going to advance everybody, bro.
All right. Well, let's go ahead before we get too much farther along. Let's go ahead and move to bracket number 2. And maybe
give me a second. Give me a second to get that pulled up.
I'm going to collect myself.
It is that time. And guess what? We're going to haze him because he doesn't show up very often. So, Nightmare Jones, why don't you go ahead and do us a favor real quickly here and go dolo on the sponsors there.
Absolutely. You got Warriors Mills Transportation. You got Rathbun and Engraving. You Wrestle Talk podcast mug is only just $20. Noble's Barber Lounge. Kincaid Arcade. Interstate 70 Sports Media. Little Popeye Designs. You can get yourself a Wrestle Talk podcast tumbler, which I don't have one of those yet. I'm going to have to get me one of those. And, of course, I can't not end this without talking about the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group, the FWWC. You can see people like Hardcore Sis there. Why would you want to see Hardcore Sis?
Oh. Wow. Okay. Wow, Joey. Tell us how you really feel, bud.
She knows I like to give her some ribs. She messes with me every show, so that's okay.
Okay, well, real quick here, and I am working on opening up the second bracket. There was a question, and I don't have it typed in just yet, that we're going to hit on just momentarily, and it's pertaining to AEW professional wrestling. Skywalker, I think we both kind of asked the question in different ways when we submitted our questions. I'm going to go ahead and kind of mesh yours and mine together. What was the most surprising and potentially encouraging match that kind of caught you off guard, whether it be in a good way or a bad way, as it pertains to AEW Full Gear? And Skywalker, I would love for you to go first.
I got 2. The shocking one to me was Jamie Hayter becoming the interim women's world champion.
Yeah.
I think Toni Storm was destined for a real good run with the championship. I was really looking forward to a matchup with Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa. Thunderstorm having to face against each other. But, again, kudos to Jamie Hayter, the new interim women's champion for AEW. And I got to say, unlike some people, Maestro, who made right here on this program 7 days ago and said that MJF would be carrying the shield that is the AEW.
Whoa. You're jumping ahead here.
Championship.
Skywalker, you're jumping ahead. You and I both know this conversation is not about the main event. We're talking about the most surprising matchup. That was the least surprising matchup. Everybody knew MJF was going over.
What do you mean? You're calling it not surprising?
Not to me.
Everybody in the world has jumped on the bandwagon for Jon Moxley. Nobody. I want to go back to my broadcast.
Did you hear the crowd at AEW? They were booing the shit out of him during the match. Where have you been?
Shout out to Nightmare Jones right now.
You look at it this way.
What are you talking about?
From the idea, no one, except for guys behind this microphone, we're putting 2 and 2 together to expect William Regal to do what he did. That was the stroke of a true villain. True. And you want to talk about surprises? That was the surprise. And I'll tell you right now, I appreciate what happened with Jamie Hayter, but to me, just as big of a surprise, MJF as the new world champion in AEW.
I agree.
I cannot. Hold on, Joe. Do you agree that it's good that MJF is champion, or are you agreeing that that's some sort of like surprise?
I agree that it's great that MJF is a champion, because there's no way that they weren't going to make him the champion. It would have been absolutely horrible for AEW if he was not the champion. The surprise was William Regal turning on the whatever the group is, the BCC or whatever they are, and turning on Jon Moxley and giving MJF the brass knuckles. That's the surprising part.
Is that the argument you're making, Skywalker? Is that the argument you're making, that the biggest surprise of the night was that move, or that MJF won?
was the move. I'm going to tell you right now, 2 words when it comes to that whole situation, and it's not our Sheiky, it's not the Iron Sheik, sheer brilliance on the part of MCM.
Better watch if you got the Maestro. I got to get your take on this, brother. Biggest surprise, both either negative or positive, coming out of Full Gear.
Well, I do got 2 as well. First off, yes, the biggest surprise has to be the way William Regal. I mean, yeah, everybody knows him as a heel and historically his usage of brass knuckles, but given everything going on, especially with the amount of momentum and people that are on the side of MJF currently, there is no way he could not have left Full Gear without that title in his hands somehow, some way. The move to have William Regal be a big reason for that is the surprise, especially when a big emphasis of the championship was to make sure MJF wouldn't use his diamond ring.
He didn't. He didn't use
which
it.
he didn't.
He didn't use it. That's
yeah.
true.
So, which is now going to be another talking point. He'll be like, "Hey, I beat you without using it." Anyway, the match that really stood out to me from the show, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said it multiple times in the past. Jungle Boy is one of the brightest young stars in the industry. I've gone to multiple AEW shows. The crowd is extremely behind him. And I'm telling you right now, the story they have going with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus ever since they split has been very underrated. A lot of people think it would just be that stale old tale of, teammates against each other. But there's a lot more emotion and power into this one. And I think to have it in a cage match, and of course Jungle Boy with the electric moveset that he has, I was just in awe. So that's my takeaway from that.
And I'll keep mine brief and short to the point. I could have expected a William Regal turn. I could have expected some sort of nonsense, tomfoolery, or shenanigans out of MJF. What I did not expect is what many people would have called a throwaway match, because the interim tag has diminished the value of every single championship that it touches within AEW. There is a tremendous amount of debate as to whether or not the interim tag is disrespectful, which it can be to the person currently holding the championship, or if it's respectful to the person that lost the championship, Thunder Rosa in this case, without actually having her shoulders pinned to the mat. We'll save that debate for the other day, but for another day. But what I can tell you is that none of you, not even Luke Skywalker Roberts, could have expected for Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter to get the best fan reaction and involvement of any match during the freaking pay-per-view, including the main event match itself. That match was so organic, and it gained so much momentum without any cheap tricks, nonsense, though there was some interference, but they did it in such a clever and innovative way that had never been done before. So for me, without a question, the best and most surprising moment of the night was the fact that if there was any match last night that deserved 5 stars from our old buddy Dave Meltzer, or even better, 5 super kicks from the Wrestle Talk podcast, it would definitely be Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm. And guess what? There was another women's match with women that get way more acknowledgement than these two that wasn't half as good. Kudos to these women. Absolutely outstanding. That is a match that I will go back and show my daughters if they ever show an interest in the world of professional wrestling. Bravo. Freaking bravo to those women. By far the most surprising moment of the night,
well, gentlemen,
in my opinion.
One thing I'm going to throw out here right now, I think everybody would agree for the most part, AEW did not disappoint this past weekend.
No question.
Be from top to bottom, a great event. And we're going to have to see what the WWE can bring forward this coming Saturday night as a part of Survivor Series with War Games. That's going to be interesting in itself. But guys, let's move on here real quick. Let's move back to Wrestle Madness. We're going to go into bracket number 2. This one here, I think, is going to have a lot of interesting picks. Match number 1, Sean Waltman versus Danny Hodge.
Here we go. Gentlemen, who wants to tackle this one first? I'll go first. Let's make it quick. I'm going with X-Pac, baby. I grew up during the Attitude Era. Nothing except Stone Cold was hotter than DX. I'm going with Sean Waltman. And I don't even like him. I think he's a bit of a jerk. But man, what he did in professional wrestling, you can't duplicate it.
I'm going to speak up here. I'm going the exact opposite. Danny Hodge could tie Sean Waltman in a knot and go through 4 more matches and not break a sweat.
What? Are you
Danny
kidding me
Hodge
right now?
all day.
Oh, Nightmare Jones, you go.
Who's got the nerve? This is a tough one.
Me, I'm going to go short and sweet. I'm going Sean Waltman. X-Pac.
Jeremy, you got the final deciding vote, plus you got a golden ticket.
He's baiting you into using that thing when you don't need to. Don't listen to Skywalker.
I'm not going to use
He's
this.
playing mind games.
Oh, I know. I'm waiting for the moment to where it'll hurt you guys the most.
What are you so angry about, Maestro? We love
you,
you, bro.
Over Owen Hart?
Well,
really?
Don't
You're
look
still
at me.
mad about that. You'll be mad about that until next year.
I'll be mad about that till Wrestle Madness 5, okay? Just like you are about the other one.
Yeah, bro.
No, I'm going to tell you something right now. I got to echo what my colleague Luke Roberts is saying. Danny Hodge, this is the man, because with double tendons in his hand, can literally just crush an apple with his bare fist, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Who can imagine what he would have done to Sean Waltman in the ring?
Okay, well, listen, it looks like we're going to end in a 2-2. So, Wrestle Talk Podcast family, this is where we need you. There are about half a dozen people watching us live just on the Facebook. That doesn't include the Twitter just yet. So, guys, make sure you let us know in the comments section who you're voting for. We got 1 vote for X-Pac from Sunny Money. We got 1 vote for Danny Hodge from Sister Hoss. And we're basically – oh, wait a minute. Yep, X-Pac. Okay, yeah. So we got 1 and 1, and then the 4 of us are 2 and 2. So it's 3 and 3. Let's see if we can't bring someone in to help us break this tiebreaker. And I think I figured out the perfect person. Ladies and gentlemen, it is both an honor and a pleasure to welcome in during today's show the man himself, the man that is always ready with at least a few snippets of truth. Make some noise for the one and only Big Daddy P. All right, Big Daddy P, we're going to put you on the spot. As soon as you walk in the door, Wrestle Madness 4, baby, and we do need you to pray for us before you go because it's been very contentious in here. A lot of matchups. Somehow Gilbert got past Owen Hart. We'll talk about that at a later time. But right now we got Sean Waltman versus Danny Hodge tied 3-3. Some fan votes, some host votes. You're the tiebreaker, sir. No pressure. Oh, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. The Don Dada done walked in the room.
Sean Waltman.
Woo! Wow.
Hey, welcome to my new Sakasa, man. This is my new home. I am so thankful to the Lord. I got nice lighting this time. My hair looks fabulous, doesn't it?
Looking like Einstein over there, my guy.
You know, Marty, 2,200 gigawatts.
No, that's Dr. Emmett Brown, but nice try. Einstein was the dog's name.
Wait, 20 years from now, my hair will be white. Don't worry.
Okay, no doubt about it. Well, Big Daddy P, we definitely want to get into snippets of truth, but we are right in the middle of Wrestle Madness. And you know what, Skywalker? If Big Daddy P joins us for a few minutes, I don't think we'll have to be worried about that many ties.
That is true. We can go ahead if Big Daddy P's willing to join us. We got 7 more in the bracket.
All right, let's go. And by the way,
hold on. Stop.
What did we do?
Whoa.
We didn't do it.
Nightmare.
Yes.
My brother from another mother. How you been?
How you been?
Man, I swear, if I spend any more time on TikTok and am entertained by your videos, man, some would think you don't do nothing for a living.
Right?
Oh, wow.
That's good stuff. Well, everybody loves some Nightmare.
Nice to see you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Gotta love it. All right. Well,
Okay,
listen, we did have a few more votes. We had Sister Haas for Danny Hodge. We had Sonny Money Mayo for X-Pac. We also had Aaron Wallace for X-Pac, and then Dean Houston for Denny. So Big Daddy P's vote was the final and deciding vote. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Waltman of both the NWO and DX is moving on to the next round. Let's move on to the next one. Skywalker, you know what to do, baby.
All right, next one we've got is Hayabusa from FMW fame taking on Dick Steinborn. For those that aren't familiar with him, he had an opportunity to spend many times wrestling in the WWC promotion, a former AWA World Tag Team Champion, competed in countless different wrestling promotions. Gentlemen, I'm just going to throw it this way. Let's go ahead and put it out there. Dick Steinborn versus Hayabusa, and we'll go with Big Daddy Pete.
Big Daddy P, go first.
I got to go with the Dick.
All right. Maestro, you going the same direction?
Yep. Same direction.
Skywalker, what do you got for us, baby?
I'm going to go a different avenue here, and I'm going to go with Hayabusa. I think he was very much cutting edge as far as the aerial wrestling. And again, going a little bit more towards the deathmatch side of professional wrestling. I'm going to go Hayabusa.
All right, and I'll go ahead and jump in here, and then we'll close it out with Nightmare Jones. I have to admit, I don't know a whole bunch about either of these men, but I know that Dick Steinberg has made a huge impact in the world of professional wrestling, especially as kind of an older school guy doing new school stuff. So for that reason, I'm going with Dick Steinberg.
All right, Nightmare Jones, let's close it out.
I'm going to go with Luke Roberts. I'm going to go with Hayabusa.
Interesting. We got a couple of folks here that are not afraid to admit when they don't know a whole bunch. So if you don't know who these folks are, again, that's what the Wrestle Talk is all about. You learn about new talent that maybe you haven't heard of. Everybody's heard of X-Pac, but has anybody heard? That's what we're here for, guys. All right, Skywalker, what's the tally, buddy?
By 3-2, Dick Steinborn moves on over Hayabusa.
Dick Steinborn moving on to the second round. I dig it. Big Daddy P, before we move on to the next matchup, let me ask you a question, man. What provoked the move, and how are you doing physically? I know you had a fall not too long ago, man. You holding up okay?
Awesome. Could not be better, man. I'm thankful. Listen, we have got to remember, and here's your quick snippet of truth number 1 tonight. The reason why you have to be thankful is because if you look at the things that you have versus the things that you don't have, we spend so much time focusing on what we don't have. I want to go this, but we forget we got to stop and smell the roses.
No question about it. I love to hear that snippet of truth number 1. And on the screen, gentlemen, the next matchup in round number 1, things are going to really start picking up the pace here. Gentlemen, Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay. Skywalker, I got to get your thoughts on this.
I'm actually going to be pretty calm on this one for once. And I'm just going to say, I know that he's really made a huge impact in professional wrestling, but I'm going to go with the man who's been calling himself Le Champion. I'm going to go with Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho. Okay, I'll go next. It's a pretty simple one for me. The barriers this man has crossed not only within the sport of professional wrestling and beyond. I mean, let's talk about it here. My man was recently on network television dressed up as a dinosaur or something. Forgot what the show's called. I'm sure one of you guys will remind me.
The Masked Singer.
That show right there, ladies and gentlemen, the night I was going with Chris Jericho.
All right, let's go with the Maestro.
Oh, without a doubt, I am going Chris Jericho. He is an absolute trailblazer for an entire generation of professional wrestlers. The styles, the promotions. I mean, he's the Ayatollah of rock and rolla.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to Big Daddy P.
Y2J. Oh, by the way, when we're done with this vote, I have a very special guest that's going to be joining us. And one of you gentlemen is going to be regretting every single word you said about 10 minutes ago about that. Actually, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. Just stay with me.
Well,
The
thank
guest
God
I've
I
got
wasn't
coming
here
on.
10 minutes ago.
Oh, Big Daddy P. When you see who's going to be joining us, it's going to blow your freaking socks off. Who's left?
I hope.
That would be Nightmare Jones.
I mean, it's a open and shut case. Chris Jericho, like 100%. Like,
Okay, at this point, it's a 5-0 vote for Chris Jericho.
All
still
right,
doesn't beat Gilbert beating Owen Hart, though.
Well, you know what, gentlemen? That is a sweep, the first sweep of the evening. What an incredible moment, only to be trumped by this.
Oh my God!
Love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Number one Ravens fan, the team I'm scared of the most as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and also a legend of the sport and the man who just so happened to defeat Owen Hart in round 1 of Wrestle Madness 4 right here tonight on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, my amigo, my hermano, a man who lives, breathes, shit, and eats professional wrestling, Dwayne effing Gill, baby. Make some noise, baby. What's happening, bro?
How y'all doing tonight?
Blessed to be here, my brother. Thank you for joining us, man. Let me introduce you to Nightmare Jones, who you've worked with before in up in the upper Northeast. Lou Skywalker Roberts, 30 years in the sport, based out of St. Louis. The maestro Jeremy Karp, the proprietor of the I-70 Sports Media Empire, and our resident chaplain, a man that always brings us back to what matters the most, the one and only Big Daddy P. Gilbert. Thank you so much for taking a moment out of your time, man.
It's my pleasure, brother. It's my pleasure, man. Just run into the office real quick and said I have to give you guys a shout out, man.
Love to hear that. We're going to hit you with some quick hitters. We'll have you out of here in 5 minutes or less. I got to let my boy Luke Skywalker go first because I know he's losing his shit right now.
Hey, well, I got to tell you right now, I mean, first of all, it's an honor and a privilege to have you here on the program, but I do have to look at round 2. I'm going to kind of go and look at this. In all your years of being in professional wrestling, could you ever imagine the opportunity here in just a minute? Round number 2, not only defeating Owen Hart in round 1, but now in round 2, you're going to be going up against one of the legends of Lucha Libre in El Santo in round number 2.
Wow.
I mean, that's got to be
a little tough one there, man.
How do you think you would do, Dwayne? How do you think you would do if you ever got that dream match of a lifetime, Gilbert versus El Santo? How do you think that would go?
I think I'd do okay, but my own stand there, he'll be flip-flopping going. I'm just going to kind of stand there. You know me, man. I'm going to wait for my opportunity and spear him, baby.
That's right. Going to work. Maestro, I know you're losing it right now. Maestro, any thoughts? Look at this man's face. Any thoughts or questions for the legend himself, Dwayne Gill?
So, oh God.
He got you, didn't he?
This one, okay. First off, it is an honor and privilege to have you on the show. Seriously, thank you so much. God love you. I never in a million years expected.
Yeah. He was very upset that you moved on from the first round because, and rightfully so, Jeremy Karp is a huge Owen Hart fan. I know you are. I know we all are. I mean, come on.
And to be honest with you, I loved Owen Hart. He was a good.
Did you ever meet Owen, Dwayne, out of curiosity?
I traveled with Owen for years, man. I knew Owen for years.
And so I see the matchup. And of course, I'm going to be, you know what? I'm at this point. I dug the grave. I might as well just lie in it here. I can't believe this is happening. I was bashing the idea of having you two in this bracket matchup. And Nightmare Jones, out of nowhere, pulls the golden ticket out his rear side and advances you, my friend, to the next round over Owen Hart, and I was left in awe. I'm still trying to recover my voice.
That's my boy Nightmare. Way to go.
All right, Jonesy. Right. All right, well, we got to get Big Daddy P in here. Big Daddy P, you've been a fan of the sport for a long time. I know you saw everything from the late 70s to now. I know Dwayne Gill is a guy that you have an affinity for, man. Any thoughts or questions for the legend himself?
First of all, mad respect.
Thank you very much.
What a career to be able to get paid for what you love to do. I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
What is it going to take to get you to Tennessee? Because I run shows in Middle Tennessee.
My man's doing business. Get him, Big Daddy P.
Give me a call, brother. Just give me a call. That's all you got to do.
I'll plug you in, Big Daddy.
Matter of fact, awesome. Great to hear. Now, but seriously, matter of fact, I'm kind of marked out, okay? Which I try not.
I told you, Dwayne. I told you, man. Hey, Christmas came early for you guys, man. Just know that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can tell you is that to be a part of this industry is a blessing, and I'm just thankful that I've been given this opportunity to meet you and to book you someday, because this business, there are so many people that love this business.
Yeah, brother.
And there's a new generation of people who they can't afford to get to Nashville, they can't afford to get to Knoxville or Chattanooga, so we run shows all in the middle, all throughout the year. And I just think being able to help promotions, to help other wrestlers, to help other workers, to continue to get work, to do what they love to do, it's such a privilege. And may the Lord continue to bless and guide you. He has protected you. And I don't know how, with all the rumors about how hard it is to work with Goldberg and how rough he is, you survived.
I've never worked with Goldberg. He won't work.
Never?
No, he won't. I hate to his face to have the match. I've even told him, I said, Goldberg, I'll make 100,000. You'll make 1 million. I can retire, leave you alone. You can kill the legend of Gillberg and everything. And he won't do it.
I thought it would be perfect.
I thought too. And I've talked to WWE about doing a Goldberg-Gillberg pack. You know what I mean? A toy pack. They won't make the doll. I don't know why they won't make the doll.
Well, wait a minute. I think there's a solution for this. And the solution is the fans have to let their voice be heard. Gillberg, you know this better than anybody because you made your bones on getting respect from the fans when other people wouldn't give that to you. So we will make the commitment here on the Wrestle Talk podcast to make some damn noise on the Twitter machine. Now that we can actually talk on the Twitter machine without anybody kicking us off of there, we're going to make some damn noise, not politically, but for freaking Gillberg, because I believe all the legends they've brought back, you see them, they're on TV on a semi-regular basis. I think you're one of the guys that deserves your due. You can talk about the Brooklyn Brawler. You can talk about some of these, some of these other guys out here, Barry Horowitz. Gillberg deserves that same respect in my book, and I think it's up to all of you, the members of the Wrestle Talk family, to make that happen, damn it. What do you think about that, Dwayne?
Thank you. I love it, man. I love it. I got a little bit of news coming out, though.
Uh-oh.
In a year, I'm sure you've heard of it, the Wrestling Code, the new video game getting ready to come out. It's called The Wrestling Code, and Gillberg is on it.
Let's go! Yeah! Awesome. Well, Maestro, I know you were chomping at the bit with one last little thought. Let's go ahead and get Dwayne out of here. My man's got to get back to dealing with all the business dealings he's got going on. I'll let you have the final shot, and then we'll all say goodbye.
All I got to say to you is
Got you.
You're done. Now, boys.
Well, now we gotta hit this, right?
You got to.
Got him.
Go ahead, busy.
All right, Maestro, go ahead, man.
I just told some of the guys, I said, look, went on a rant about Gilbert advancing past Owen Hart, and Gilbert showed up, and I'm facing the music. I want to say this, though. If there's anything that the biggest takeaway from all this, and the Night Owl and Luke Roberts know this especially, it proof, though, I always knew Gilbert was better than Goldberg.
Oh, let's go, man. I like that. Mexican yell for that.
I appreciate
that. Love you, man. Thank you so much for being on. This
love you, brother.
Honor.
You all have a great and awesome Thanksgiving, man, and an awesome holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to y'all, man, here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all that. Gilbert, before you go, let me just have my final word in here, man. Thank you for making some of the biggest professional wrestling marks, fans, workers, referee, support staff. That's what we all are here. We're all in the business in some capacity, bro. You really did make an early Christmas and early Hanukkah for all of us, bro. God bless you. We love you, man. And hopefully we'll be able to get that hashtag going. We'll come up with that, something clever for you. And I'd love 30 to 35 minutes to really get deep into some of the stuff that you've done in professional wrestling outside of just the Gilbert stuff, because I know you've been doing your damn thing for a long time, and I think we need to highlight that. So we'd love to have you on in a couple of weeks for a full-length interview, if you're okay with that.
That sounds great to me, man. You guys are awesome. I love getting on here with y'all.
Let's go, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the legendary Gilbert. Let's go. Yeah, man. Gotta love it. See you, Dwayne. We'll see you next time, buddy.
Take it easy.
Oh, my goodness. You never know who's going to show up on the Wrestle Madness 4.
Maestro, I'm warning you. Go ahead, Nightmare. Go ahead.
Just don't have Haggis back on because I'll have to just leave.
Lesson learned for you, Maestro. Don't you ever in your life disrespect the Night Owl. You understand me? I will kick your teeth in one way or the other. Bro, earlier when you were like, oh, maybe I was like, wait, just give me a little bit, Maestro. And you know what? I think this show, and we've still got a lot of matches to get through, already going in the history books is one of the greatest Wrestle Talk podcast episodes of all time. Maestro, I'm sure you agree with that, right?
If we have to have like a highlight reel of some iconic moments in this show, and that has to be one.
That's
of them.
Gonna make the list.
That has to.
You just made the list.
I am literally facing the music when
in real time. In real time. Well, listen, let's bring everything not back down to earth, but far beyond the earth, because Big Daddy P is here with us. And we didn't have, as a matter of fact, we put out a request for prayer requests earlier on in the show. I didn't see any come through. If they didn't, I missed them. I apologize. But just know, guys, any day, time, moment, if you need someone to talk to, if you need a prayer request, if you need some guidance in the spiritual realm, please message Perry@paintersdream.com. You can send them to us. You can send them to him. Big Daddy P has been a life-changing big brother figure in my life for years now. He's made me a better man. Part of the reason why I'm stepping away from commentary for 2023, you guys heard that news a little bit earlier, because I'm trying to be more like my big bro, Big Daddy P. Big Daddy P, before we let you go, man, hit us with those snippets. Hit us with that prayer. You know what to do, baby. Nobody does it like you. That's why you're a resident chaplain, man. The floor is yours, my hermano.
Well, first of all, you know, the fact that we have an opportunity to, first of all, how do you follow Gilbert, right? I mean, God's plan was so perfect in how he orchestrated all of that, because I had no idea. But I'm just thankful, man, because, you know, we live in a country that has good internet. My power hasn't been shut off. You know what I mean? I mean, there's so many things going on in the world right now. And I just think that if we can if we can focus on the positive things and take our time and attention and put it in the right spot, because there are a lot of temporary things and there's eternal things. And right now, and I know the reason why this has happened the way it is because everybody at a time like this, especially if you've lost anybody this year who is usually at Thanksgiving, it hurts. And so one of the prayers tonight is for those that are struggling, who during the holidays lost someone last year or lost someone 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I mean, I lost my mom when I was 7, dad when I was 17. I still miss them. But every year I try and make the holidays special. So this year for Thanksgiving, if you happen to be in Middle Tennessee and you know where McMinnville is, and you come to 227 Vinewood Road, apartment H1 on Thanksgiving, 4 o'clock, with nothing to eat, you want something to eat, you want to hang out, come to the house. The house is open to the public. And I know it sounds crazy. I know everybody's not going to take me up on it. And if they do, I remember a God who took bread and fish and multiplied it. So if you're without food, well, one, you might not be watching this, but you might know somebody who is not going to have a meal or maybe is alone. If they're in the Middle Tennessee area, please, perry@paintersdream.com, contact me and let's get them some food and some fellowship, because as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. These are just words that God has given us, and I take them seriously, and I thank you. And I know that there are some people right now who are not hurting, who God is blessing. I just want to remind you that on the Last Supper, he took the bread, he blessed the bread, he broke the bread, and he gave the bread. If you look at that pattern, he took me, he blessed me, he saved me, and then he broke me. And then he gave me, and here I am. So just remember that everything that happens to you is for a reason. It's not by accident. In Ecclesiastes, it says, in the day of prosperity, be happy. In the days of adversity, consider. He just means stop. We fail to ask him. So if you have anything going on right now, we're going to pray. And we're going to ask him. Father God, I thank you so much for this opportunity that's come before us tonight, that we can call upon you. You tell us, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden and tired, and I will give you rest. And so I thank you for rest. I thank you for the fruit of the Spirit that continuously grows in us, peace and love and joy. And we know that without love, we have nothing. So I pray that those that are watching, Father, that you would continue to teach them to love one another. Thank you for Dwayne. Thank you for the opportunity that we have to get to know him even more and in a better way. Thank you for his humor. Thank you for all that he did to contribute, to entertain us for so long. And now I look forward and thank you in advance for what you're going to do, for all the prayer requests that we've received. I just want to ask you, Father, that you would answer their prayers, that you would show them even more who you are, because you're the one who says, come to me. So tonight we come to you. We thank you. We celebrate Thanksgiving every day, but coming up, we've got to cook and prepare, and there's a lot of things to do, because it's time that the family comes together. And we know with all these devices, there's going to be a lot of pictures and videos. And I pray that your love just continues to be shared throughout Facebook and social media. I thank you for Wrestle Talk. Great to see Nightmare Jones again. Great to see the whole team. And Father, we just look forward to next week, that we can come back once again with some truth, but most importantly with love, because that's all we have. Thank you so much. What a privilege it is to represent you to a lost and dying world. And may they know that right now they can put their trust in you. You call it a gift. That means we can't work for it. Otherwise, it's a reward. But we thank you for the gift of salvation, for it is not by works, lest any man should boast, and not even death can separate us from your love. It's what you say. I thank you. I love you. And I ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. Booyah!
Man, ladies and gentlemen, he is our resident chaplain, Big Daddy P. Not only does he do that, he's pretty damn good at putting together websites. So same email, Perry@paintersdream.com. And boy, That is a fantastic looking glass, my friend. Available to you. You know, we also have the tumbler, Big Daddy B. Available to you right now by reaching out to us directly. $20, $5 extra for your name, plus shipping for the Wrestle Talk Podcast tumbler. Big Daddy P, we love you. God bless you, sir, and we will see you next week.
Until next time, and remember, don't forget, tonight there are people who are going to be driving home and they're not going to make it. They're going to be face to face with him. So if you wake up in the morning, remember it's a gift and treat it as such. Big Daddy P out.
Adios. Peace.
Wow.
Gentlemen.
Wow.
What do you say? Big Daddy P, Dwayne Gill, Wrestle Madness 4, and we ain't done yet. Right, Jonesy?
That's right. We're not done yet.
All right. Well,
Wow.
gentlemen, let's move on to bracket number 2 here. We've got Psychosis and Gama Singh. For those that aren't familiar with Gama Singh here in the next bracket, I'm going to go ahead and pull up some general information here. Known for the better part of 30 years in the professional wrestling industry, trained by the legendary Stu Hart. Looking back here at some championships, countless championships in Stampede, IWA, WWC. Really interesting matchup. I'm going to go ahead and throw my pick out here right now. I know Psychosis has traveled the world, bringing the Lucha Libre style, many classic matchups with the likes of such wrestlers as Rey Mysterio, La Parca, El Dandy, the Villanos, countless other wrestlers. I've got to go Gama Singh.
Gama Singh. I'll go second here. Don't forget to unmute yourselves, gentlemen, when you do come back on the stream. I'm going to go with Psychosis because not only did Psychosis make a huge impact in the professional wrestling world in years past, even today, that is a name you are regularly hearing in the world of professional wrestling. This is a pick based on relevancy and relevancy alone. I'm going with Psychosis.
Psychosis.
Nightmare Jones?
Psychosis.
Psychosis.
All right. Well, we've got a decision here, 3-1 in favor of Psychosis. Moving on to the next round. The next matchup is going to bring two men that are no strangers to one another, but maybe strangers to the viewers of the Wrestle Talk podcast. The Ultimo Dragon taking on Koji Kanemoto. For those that haven't had an opportunity, Kanemoto, phenomenal in-ring competitor, has held countless championships. Guys, I'm going to tell you, I've got 2 words. Super J Crown, Ultimo Dragon.
Ultimo Dragon.
Ultimo Dragon.
And another sweep in bracket number 2, Ultimo Dragon. And I'm going to say this, if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me. Is this not just based on name recognition at this point? I mean, some of these names just absolutely stick out to you. You may have never seen these individuals wrestle, but you just know the name. I wonder what that's attributed to. It's something that would be worth exploring on a future episode. I don't know what you guys think, right? Is it a name recognition thing at this point?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, when you look at this, though, I mean, again, if you've ever heard of Ultimo Dragon, the idea of where held the Super J Crown Championship, that's 8 championships, plus holding the WCW Cruiserweight Championships, held 9 titles at one time. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I believe at one point it was 10 light heavyweight, middleweight, cruiserweight championships at the same time. I can tell you right now, that's a pretty impressive feat in itself. But again, Koji Kanemoto, no slouch in the first round. Another matchup here.
Wait. But I got to get the thoughts of just very, very quickly here. At some point, it becomes about name recognition, Maestro. Am I wrong on that?
To an extent, yes.
Okay.
I think it also does. I mean, you have Juventud Guerrera against Nightmare Ken Wayne here. I mean, but just imagine if you had Hoovy against Psychosis. Well, then what, then it's like, well, then you can't really make an argument for name recognition. I think
you got to go to the stats.
Yeah, you got to go to stats. I think it just is all bracket compilation based and just, some matchups, yes, it definitely goes over who you know more of. And I think that's also led to some of our more controversial and close call finishes that we've had so far.
Totally agree. Nightmare, your thoughts?
Are we doing the Juventud Guerrero one or what?
No, I guess my question is simple. Do you think at this point in the Wrestle Madness kind of competition, sometimes it just comes down to like whose name you recognize the most when you maybe don't have all the details? Is that fair
It
to say?
absolutely does. It absolutely does. Like, I like the last one. I've seen more Psychosis matches than than the other person. So of course I'm gonna go with Psychosis or Juventud Guerrero or. So
The guys you're more familiar with. And I only want to say that I only bring this up as we move forward, Skywalker, because I think there may be a certain of age bias here. I think if all of us were in our 60s, our answers might be a little bit different. Let it be noted that nobody here is over the age of 50 years old. So just take that with you as a disclaimer as we move on. Plus, I'm going with Juventud.
All right, we got another one for Juventud. We got two here. I'm going to tell you right now, I'd have to agree with Juventud on this one as well. Nightmare Ken Wayne, while a great in-ring competitor, I would have to give the nod here to Juventud. Next matchup, Eddie Guerrero versus Hiroshi Hase. This is a matchup where basically you're going to have what many would consider to be a high flyer against a mat tactician, almost what some would say a striker versus a flyer. To me, I'm going to look at it right now, and I may have a lot of people not agreeing with me, but I'm going to go with Hiroshi Hase.
Hase, who's next? Nightmare, I think it's on you, buddy.
It's on me. What you had just said, you were talking about, whose name do you recognize more? I got to go with Eddie Guerrero.
Easy E. Maestro?
So what's the count at right now?
2-0.
No, it's 1-1. One for Guerrero, one for Hase.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. 1-1.
We just got off this argument over name recognition, but at the same time, Eddie Guerrero goes beyond just name recognition. I mean, he is literally one of the all-time greats. And let's not forget how many wrestlers that we watch today that are inspired partly or fully because of Eddie Guerrero. It goes without saying that Eddie Guerrero should advance.
Eddie.
All right. Well, we've got our winner there by a score of 3-1. Eddie Guerrero moves on. And gentlemen, if we can actually believe this, we're getting to the final match in the first half of the first round. Kurt Angle versus Shinjiro Otani. This matchup, again, Otani, known as the first WCW, I believe, light heavyweight champion, well known in Japanese wrestling circles, but I got to say I'm going Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle.
Skywalker, how many sweeps have we had in this second bracket?
In the second bracket here, bear with me. Let me go back to my research here. 1, 2, 3. This would be 3 sweeps.
3 sweeps. And how many did we have in the first bracket? I'm curious.
In the first bracket, technically, we had 3.
3. We had 3 sweeps in the first bracket?
Mm-hmm. It would have been more, but no, we would have had more if somebody wouldn't have used their golden ticket. Well, then again, without a golden ticket, we don't get to see Dwayne Gill. So, I mean, again, it's one of those things where, I mean, again, there was a trade-off there. And again, it's one of those, I was very happy to see Dwayne Gill joining us right here as a part of Wrestle Madness 4, right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to get the third bracket up. And I think this is a tremendous opportunity for the Maestro to help us out in once again recognizing the loyal sponsors of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Real quickly here, Maestro, you mind hitting us with that?
All righty. We got so many wonderful sponsors that keep the Wrestle Talk podcast and everything about it going. And that includes Royal Mills Transportation. Gotta love Dewan Mills. Rathbun Engraving. The Wrestle Talk podcast mug is just $20. Nobleman's Barber Lounge in good old Casey, Missouri. Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall. Yours truly, Interstate 70 Sports Media. Love the team. Hope you all are tuning in. Little Popeye Designs. You get a Wrestle Podcast Tumblr, which I don't have yet, and the world's premier fantasy wrestling group, the FWWC.
Right. And one thing I wanted to mention, and we haven't had a chance to show it off yet, gentlemen, I think our production team does a wonderful job. So I wanted to bring some attention to this piece of artistic beauty. Thank you to our team for putting this poster together for tonight's Wrestle Madness 4. As you can see right here, dead center on the left, the one and only Gilbert is there.
And look who's on the right. Look who's on the right.
Well, there you go. Your boy Owen Hart. We see Rey Mysterio, Paraguayo, Shane Helms, and El Santo, many others on that poster. I figured I would just bring that to the forefront because, wow, the team here, as far as hosts, the production side, everybody who handles our artwork, and of course, the administrative team that brings all these wonderful interviews to fruition. Wrestle Talk Podcast, episode 418, continuing to kill the game. That said, we are not done yet, ladies and germs, because we are moving on to bracket number 3, and it almost feels like a lightning round. Skywalker, lead us through it.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, and this is true fact going to my research, the man of 1,000 holds, Dean Malenko, against a man who is also called the man of 1,000 holds, Les Thornton. For those that aren't familiar, Les Thornton comes from the UK, former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion on 6 occasions, former British Stampede, Commonwealth, Mid-American Champ, or Mid-Heavyweight Champion, Junior Heavyweight Champion, WWC down in Puerto Rico, former Western States Tag Team Champion, former American Heavyweight Champion. A lot of great matches held by Les Thornton. This would be a matchup, and I think we said it in the Wrestle Madness pre-show. I'm going to tell you right now, this match would go on for hours. This would be, to me, a traditional wrestling match. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say it, I'm picking Les Thornton over Dean Malenko in a match that's not going to go anything less than 90 minutes.
Whoa, boy. Nightmare Jones, I got to get your thoughts on this one. Les Thornton,
You know what? I actually have to agree with Luke Roberts. I'm going with Les Thornton.
Night Owl, this is you.
You know what? This may shock the audience, but I also I'm going to go with Les Thornton. I think Dean Malenko deserves his props, rightfully so. But Les, I mean, you guys heard the accolades noted. Just because it happened before our lifetime doesn't mean it's not significant, ladies and gentlemen. That's why the Night Owl is going with Les.
You know, I would love to do my best to avoid a sweep. And I got a lot of love for my Jewish brethren. Gotta love good old Dean Malenko. But I mean, there are pioneers in the wrestling industry for a reason. And Les Thornton is one of those pioneers. Traveled the world, won titles all over the world, and inspired many. And that, in fact, I want to say this, Les Thornton was Mick Foley's tag team partner in his first ever WWF match, which happened to be against the British Bulldogs. Just had to throw a little tidbit out there, but what the hell? I'll go for a sweep, and I'm going to go with Les Thornton.
Oh, wow. Skywalker, I know you helped put the committee together, okay? You got to tell me if this is or isn't the surprise of the night for you so far.
Well, do we have to throw in, and again, can we throw in the whole Gilbert?
I knew Gilbert was going to win.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you right now, to me right now, this is a matchup that stands out as probably one of the biggest upsets in round number 1. Les Thornton, again, an accomplished professional wrestler, and again, a match would have gone on for a long time. I'm going to tell you right now, this next matchup intrigues me just as much. Amazing Red, people know him for his athletic ability, taking on Nelson Royal, another man with nearly 5 decades of professional wrestling experience, former multi-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And I'm going to stay on the NWA tangent here, and I'm going Nelson Royal over the Amazing Red.
I'll go Nelson Royal. I mean, you got to respect the drive and the passion. Over 5 decades in professional wrestling. Now, come on now. That is an unbelievable accomplishment.
Yep. I'm going Nelson.
Okay, and just real quick here, for those that don't know, passed away at the age of 66 from a heart attack. originally from the great state of Kentucky. Let's just take a quick look here because we want to make sure that we give our audience a fair opportunity. Held the junior heavyweight championship on 6 occasions for one of the most prestigious promotions in pro wrestling history, the NWA. Also, Pacific Northwest helped innovate professional wrestling out in the Portland area. Shout out to our guy who we saw in Las Vegas, gave us the illest merch. You know what I'm talking about, right, Skywalker?
Oh, yes. There's lots of people that gave us cool stuff when we were out in Vegas.
But he came and saw us at the casino.
Oh, are you talking about our good friend Jeff Manning?
Shout out to the boy Jeff Manning. Big Red, we love you. Remember, don't try this in Las Vegas, Nevada. I mean, but you guys see it here. Defeated the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, a bunch of NWA stuff, some Mid-Atlantic stuff. I don't want to take anything away from his opponent in this matchup, but I mean, Nelson Royal, without a shadow of a doubt, deserves our respect, and I think for that reason, he's moving on.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to our next matchup here. Another matchup that a lot of people may or may not know a lot about. The original Tiger Mask, Satoru Sayama, taking on Hiro Matsuda. Hiro Matsuda, known for training a lot of professional wrestlers as well as an in-ring career. Also known, if anybody's ever heard the story about the opening training day of one Hulk Hogan breaking his leg in training to see if he had the intestinal fortitude to return to pro wrestling training. And gentlemen, this matchup right here, and I had an opportunity growing up to see a handful of Hiro Matsuda matches. It took me a while to start seeing some of the original Tiger Mask. And I'm going to tell you right now, this matchup is going to be the mat-based skills of Hiro Matsuda taking on the aerial ability of Tiger Mask. And I got to tell you this way, Tiger Mask defeats Hiro Matsuda.
If you guys need a moment to think about it, I'm actually ready for this one. I'm going to go with Hiro. I know when you think like heavyweight, you immediately think high flyer, a lot of agility. But we also did talk to Gilbert, and he said, hey, if I ever got a chance to face El Santo, I would just stand there, and I would spear him. And I think Hiro is one of those smaller guys that was able to bring a power game and a submission game that had not seen before his time. So for that reason, I'm going with Hiro.
All right, gentlemen, we need either Nightmare Jones or the Maestro to step up here.
I'm going with Hiro Matsuda.
All right, and we've got the Maestro.
I'm going Hiro.
Ooh, Hiro Matsuda. Moving on. So much for my theory about name recognition. Sounds like the Wrestle Talk roster did their homework this evening. I got to say, I'm pretty proud of that.
Well, moving on to another matchup. This is going to be one that a lot of people are going to be surprised. You have Finn Balor taking on the Haitian sensation Tyree Pride.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why doesn't that say Prince Devitt?
When it was brought to the committee, it was brought up as Finn Balor. Most people would know him as Prince Devitt. However you want to refer to him. We could even put a slash and put Prince Devitt however we wish to go about it. It was just the way it was presented to the committee. But let's take a minute here. We know the accomplishments of one. We do know the accomplishments of Finn Balor, but if you look at Tyree Pride, nearly 40 years in professional wrestling, known for the flying body press, a lot of championships in the Bahamas, Florida, and the Caribbean, countless different promotions he's competed in over the course of his career. I'm going to tell you right now, as much as I've had the opportunity to say I've seen a good amount of Tyree Pride matches, I'm going to go with Finn Balor on this one.
Jonesy, what you thinking?
I'm going with Finn Balor.
That was pretty quick.
I will also be going with Prince Devitt only because when you lose the championship, the Universal Championship, the way that he did, and I'm going to move myself, Jeremy, don't mess with me, please. When he lost that Universal Championship, my man had every excuse in the world to give up And this Judgment Day thing has allowed him to thrive and to show his personality and to talk on the microphone and not be afraid. So the ability to come back and reinvent himself and not lean on what was that character when he used to come out as the creature?
The demon?
The demon, right? His ability, his choice to not choose to lean on that, which would have made things easier for him, I think, to a certain perspective. I got to go with Prince Devitt.
All right, that's I think we've got almost everything taken care of here. I think we got one more vote. Just to confirm it.
So, you guys know how I have that golden ticket, right? Well, there ain't no way I'm using it on Saturday Pride. We're going with Prince Devitt on this.
Let's do it.
All right, well, we now know where that's going to be. Finn Balor, Prince Devitt moving on to the next round. Our next matchup here, Christian Cage against Jumpin' Joe Savoldi. I know everybody's very familiar with one Christian Cage. Give us just a minute here. The media team of the Wrestle Talk podcast making it a point to provide us the information that we have. Joe Savoldi was known for a long career inside the professional wrestling ring, countless championships both in the light heavyweight and heavyweight divisions with ICW. Also a couple of championships with the Pacific Northwest tag team titles, as well as the WWC tag team championships. Gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, again, showing my age, I've had an opportunity to see a few Joe Savoldi matches. I think I'm going to go with Christian Cage, though. I've always been a Christian Cage fan, and I think Christian Cage winds up getting the victory in my book.
Nightmare Jones?
This is a tough one. I'm going to go with Christian Cage.
Let's just take a quick look here. During the All-Star game, he caught the eye of two famous spectators, Billy Sandow and Ed the Strangler Lewis. Raging, okay, in Chicago Stadium. Whoa, we're talking about World War II here. We're talking about a football star. We're talking about a war hero. And I'm not getting a whole much. I mean, 1934. Listen, this gentleman may be extremely accomplished, but it looks like his accomplishments were wholesome. And what I mean by that is he may have dabbled in the world of professional wrestling back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, but that wasn't his primary claim to fame. His primary claim to fame was being a football player. So that alone maybe made him an innovator, a guy who came from a different sport, maybe one of the first, and came into professional wrestling. But at the same time, those ladder matches, man. Those ladder matches, man, with the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys are a part of my childhood, and for that reason, I can't help it. You know I'm going with Christian Cage.
All right. Well, like I said, we have one more official vote that still needs to be registered before we can move on. So,
who's that?
Well, let's see. I know I had Cage. Joe had Cage. The Night Owl had Cage.
Yeah, I said Cage.
All right. Well, that's an official there. 4-0 in favor of Christian Cage. The next one is Mr. Aguila, also known as Papi Chulo or S.A. Rios, taking on Vern Seibert. For those that aren't familiar with Vern Seibert, opportunity to compete better part of, I'm looking here, nearly 40 years, both as a wrestler and a referee. And I got to tell you right now, with somebody who has nicknames, and I did my research here, who had nicknames of Vicious, Nature Boy, and Weasel. That right there covers every possible gamut of nicknames you could come up with there in 3 nicknames, several regional championships. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go with Mr. Aguila.
Did you say regional?
Regional, yes.
Okay. I'm going to go with Vern. You know why? Because during that era, if you're making your name, and we can still reminisce about it today, you must have done something massive. I'm going with Vern.
All right, we're one apiece. We got the Maestro and Mr. Nightmare Jones.
I am going to go with Vern as well.
Ooh.
Maestro, what do you think?
So, this is the thing. At first I was thinking going with Essa Rios because that's how I'm familiar with him in my forte as far as professional wrestling goes. But looking more deep into it, the impact that Vern Siebert has left is much bigger, and that is why I'm going with Vern Siebert.
Wow.
Right. And I do want to add, when you talk about like regional professional wrestling, you're talking about the best regional professional wrestling of all time. I mean, you're talking about Buddy Wayne. You're talking about Dean Ho, Igor Volkov, Tom Justice. So, I mean, it may be regional because I know we've been leaning a lot towards international. I was an advocate for that. But, bro, if you're a part of the best era of all time and you're facing guys like Eddie Watts on a regular basis, that carries water with me.
I could see that. So Vern Siebert moving on to the next round. Another matchup that a lot of people are going to be very familiar with. Surprisingly, a lot of people have given me comments with it. Is Pac taking on Rey Mendoza. Rey Mendoza, known very well in Mexico, countless championships in Mexico, taking on Pac. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm leaning towards Rey Mendoza.
Rey Mendoza.
Rey Mendoza.
Okay, what am I missing here? What do I not know about Rey Mendoza that I need to know, gentlemen? Please educate me.
Let's see here. 4-time American Tag Team Champion, 6-time NWA World Light Heavyweight Champion, 3-time UWA World Light Heavyweight Champion, NWA World Middleweight Champion, Mexican National Light Heavyweight Champion. Let's see here. Let's look at some other things that we'd have there. In the Tornado de Parejas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 24.
Jesus.
24 Tornado de Parejas tournaments.
Can I just say something? Because, again, my lineage plays a big part in everything that I do and that I am, just like it does for you guys. Also, the first ever World Light Heavyweight Champion in NWA history of Mexican descent. So I'm also going Rey Mendoza. Sorry,
That's
I wanted to bring a little drama to it. Sorry, guys.
And well, like I said, man, that's another sweep here, and we've got time for one more match in this round. And this one here, guys, this one is going to be tough, and everybody knew it was going to be tough. Jushin Thunder Liger versus Flying Brian Pillman.
Oh. All right, guys.
And I will tell you, I'm not going first.
I'm not going first.
Why are you guys being scaredy cats?
Why don't you go first then?
I'm going with Jushin. I've always been a Jushin fan, and I'm
Joey
going with Jushin Thunder Liger.
Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get this pulled up. I apologize. Bracket time. Okay, that's what we need. There we go. So we said Rey, right?
Rey Mendoza had moved on. I think I'm okay with going second. And I'm just going to say, even though he held several championships in the NWA WCW, I'm going to have to give the nod after watching the retirement ceremony and the accomplishments and the Wrestle Kingdom. I'm going to wind up going with Liger as well.
Okay. And I will say this, our friends in private groups, please go to the top of the post, click see more, and then not see more butts. Thank you very much. I know that joke was coming. Click see more. There is going to be a link at the bottom. Click that. Give us permission so we can see who you are. We would love to see who you are, so we can validate your opinion here about Liger. And I can only add that as much as I love Brian Pillman, he was part of the very first WCW show at that mall in Minnesota. His career could have been what the career of The Rock was and what Stone Cold was and everybody else, because he had that kind of ability. But when you got that short of a career, it's the same reason that Biggie's better, or I should say that Pac's better than Big, is that Big just didn't produce enough. So for that reason, my response as well is behind Jushin Thunder Liger.
Maestro, that leaves you as our final vote in this particular bracket.
Okay, I gotta get. There's the opinion of there's the, how do I word it? The popular opinion and the honest opinion, and sometimes they're the same, and other times they're not. A lot of people I know would want me to say Brian Pillman, and a part of me does. He was a key part of the beginning of the Attitude Era, and interestingly enough, almost got Raw kicked off the USA Network. Nevertheless, and was a huge part in WCW, ECW. The loose cannon gimmick was something that tied real life with, the storylines of professional wrestling. But when your career spans as long as Jushin Liger's has, he's wrestled over 4,000 matches. And yes, this takes into account, the whole thing, we talked about sudden passings, things of that nature, which is tragic. But Jushin Liger, I'm telling you, this one, 35-year career, he has to go on in this tournament.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Jushin Liger rounding out the third bracket of Wrestle Madness 4 in the first round. Now, gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right here, if there was any round that would probably be I would dare say a speed round, I got to say, I think that the fourth bracket, while the matches are all great matchups, I think most of the fans are going to know all of these wrestlers for the most part. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get things started here in just a minute. We're going to wait just a minute to make sure that our technology will allow us to get the fourth bracket up here on the program. Like I said, this particular bracket is going to be, I got to say, is going to be unreal in just the sheer ability that we're going to be talking about in this particular bracket. I know the Night Owl is still working hard getting that bracket up here on the screen. And again, as a reminder, we're going to have it taken care of. Here we go. I think this bracket, everyone's going to be familiar. Number one, Jeff Hardy and the Great Sasuke.
Ooh, that's a hard one, boy. I'll go first. I'm going Hardy.
I'm going Great Sasuke.
Ooh.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go Jeff Hardy.
All right. Wow. That was a close one, though. Not too shabby.
All right.
Folks, these are some good names, close matchups. I'm telling you, Wrestle Madness 4 is just as intense and great as the other three.
Just give us your pick.
I already said.
All right.
I already said Jeff Hardy.
I said Jeff Hardy.
I said Jeff Hardy.
Nightmare said Jeff Hardy. And Luke's over there looking like he's about to crap out a long turd saying, I'm going to go Jeff Hardy.
Okay, moving right along.
He already, here we go. We already know what that is. Next,
Tajiri versus Robbie Stewart. Robbie Stewart, very accomplished inside the squared circle. Countless promotions, particularly in the Stampede promotion. Also did a lot of stuff in the UK. I'm going to go Robbie Stewart on this one.
I'm going Tajiri.
I have this distinct memory of Val Venus hanging in the locker room with his shorts, not shorts, what are those called? The tights down, and there being a samurai sword.
I choppy yo
I choppy yo pee. So So for that reason, I'm going to Jerry.
Just for clarification,
But
that
that
was
doesn't even go to
Takamichinoku.
Jerry.
Yeah, they're cousins, bro. That's why.
But okay, I was gonna say that.
All right, so at this point,
Okay, it's to Jerry for me and human resources for you, Night Owl.
Plus the green mist, man. Come on, man.
that is true.
Come on, man.
The next match, I'm going to tell you right now, the next couple of matches are really going to be tough to call. The first one here, Dynamite Kid versus Kenny Omega.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna
I'm not
shoot
going
myself
for
in the foot, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with Dynamite Kid. I've liked Dynamite Kid since I was a kid, and I'm going with Dynamite Kid.
Make it 2, Dynamite Kid.
Night Owl?
Nah, bro. I haven't gone
Nope.
last in a while. It's your turn, baby.
No.
Plus, no one hears your answers. That's twice that you've answered that everyone's like, what's your answer? And you're like, I already answered. So it's on you, buddy.
It's not my fault that Mr. I'm not 50 yet can't hear clearly.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Skywalker's getting a little
All right.
Gilbert.
Jeremy, you all right over there?
I can't stand you guys.
Oh,
sometimes.
I can't
All
believe
right.
that happened.
I can't believe it.
All right, enough. Go ahead.
I'm going Dynamite Kid. And on top of that, he is my pick to win it all.
Ooh.
Wow.
This one, too.
I'm gonna go. I know it doesn't matter at this point, but I have to go Kenny Omega. Not only has he been number one in PWI, not only has he had matches that will go down potentially as some of the greatest matches in professional wrestling history, he also will go down as one of the 5 men. Well, let's make it 6 if you want to include the con man that helped start a revolution that started somewhere outside Chicago that is now known as AEF&W. I know it doesn't matter at this point. I almost wish I had my golden ticket. And by the way, we can change our minds here along the way, folks. I have to go with one of the most controversial individuals in the world of professional wrestling history. As a matter of fact, Jim Cornette has made a second career off Kenny Olivier.
He has actually.
I gotta go with Kenny Omega. Anybody want to change their mind and ride with me?
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Nah.
I'm going with
Nah,
Omega.
fam.
All right.
going
Well,
with
that
Omega.
first match wasn't, or that match number 3 wasn't enough. If you look at the next matchup, if that wasn't challenging enough, the next matchup to many will be, and that is the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels taking on Jerry Lynn.
Career-wise, Shawn Michaels. I think Shawn Michaels had a much better career than Jerry Lynn. Like, multiple time WWE heavyweight champion. I mean, I can name multiple Shawn Michaels matches, and I can't really think of one Jerry Lynn match off the top of my head.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
No. It's time for Luke Roberts to jump on a soapbox here. Do you not remember the clinics that he put on with Rob Van Dam?
Bro, what
I didn't
about
watch
Jerry
ECW.
Lynn and Sabu, bro?
I didn't watch
Sabu,
ECW.
I mean, you name it.
Bro, are you
I
kidding
didn't-
me?
I'm
Jerry
gonna tell
Lynn
you right now.
Jerry Lynn is the guy. And there's a lot of people that don't get credit at AEW, Skywalker.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if there's one guy that doesn't get his just due, it's freaking Jerry Lynn. I mean, are we joking right now? Nightmare, I thought you had the one up on me. You're right up the street from freaking Philadelphia. How do you not know this?
I know who Jerry Lynn is. I'm a Shawn Michaels fan.
Well,
I'm gonna
touche.
throw my vote out here. Jerry Lynn. Night Owl?
this is a simple one for me, ladies and gentlemen. There's only one man, there's only one individual that changed my trajectory in the world of professional wrestling, and this man did it by losing to my favorite professional wrestler of all time at WrestleMania 14. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's got to be HBK.
All right, it's all to
All
you,
right.
Jimmy.
Without a doubt, Shawn Michaels. There's not many people who have a career better in the history of professional wrestling than Shawn Michaels. I mean, he rivals the upper. People have put him on the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling. So it's got to be Shawn Michaels.
And you can't teach that.
Oh,
well, now that we've gone through that one and we realize Joe doesn't know anything about ECW, let's move on to a matchup of not only clashing styles, but of clashing generations. Tatsumi Dragon Fujinami versus the Golden Star Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi.
Ibushi.
My pick on this one.
Ibushi.
Skywalker, what do we need to know about Fujinami? I think there's just a lack of education here.
Well, let's look at it. Number one, in Japan, had an opportunity to defeat Ric Flair, albeit that a lot of people did not credit the title reign. Was an NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I believe also, as we go back and look at his title history, he has held the tag team titles IWGP 5 times. He is a 4-time, 5-time, 6-time IWGP heavyweight champion, former international champion in the WWF on 2 occasions, former NWA Pacific Northwest champion, NWA World International Junior Heavyweight champion. I mean, again, when you talk about the tradition of Japanese wrestling, you put Tatsumi Dragon Fujinami, and that's why I'm going with Fujinami.
And I am going with Fujinami as well. I think Kota Ibushi has done great things, but not enough outside of Japan for my taste. I'm going with Fujinami.
All right, well, at this point, we're tied 2-2. So what we're going to do here, since we only got a couple more matches remaining.
Hold on. We do have fan input here, and again, the Wrestle Talk podcast is all about you guys, the Wrestle Talk podcast fam. So if you think you got the cojones, man, if you think you got what it takes, that you want to come on and you want to join the show, do you know what I'm saying? You got those big things under you like that, man. Let us know. We'll send you the link. You want to become a part of this conversation.
You never wanted to, LOL.
Shut up, Maestro. You want to come on the show? Let us know, and we will bring you on, because ultimately the show is all about the Wrestle Talk podcast fan.
It is. It is. Right. I'm just annoying the Night Owl on purpose for what he did.
Oh.
Don't interrupt my soliloquy. Hold on. Let's go back to this, though. Fujinami is iconic. Kota got there, but Fujinami was always there. Kota isn't ready. He put up a hell of a fight, but I got to go with Fujinami. Is that our tiebreaker?
That's our tiebreaker.
I would say at this point, I mean, that's a pretty straightforward answer here. If you gentlemen are cool with that, I think that would be our tiebreaker, and Fujinami would move on.
Let's go.
And thank you, Gabriel, for that great analysis there. We appreciate that here tonight on Wrestle Madness 4. So at this point, let's move on. The remaining 3 are going to pose some challenges. Number 1, we have Spike Dudley and Bruce Hart. Both men we know a good deal about. I'm going to lean myself towards Bruce Hart.
I'm going towards Bruce Hart.
I'm going Bruce Hart as well. I mean, it's just hard to argue with the lineage and the amount of talent that's come out of the dungeon.
Definitely Bruce Hart.
All right. Well, that one's a pretty open and shut case. Bruce Hart moving on to the next round.
Which, by the way, Spike Dudley, part of the Attitude Era, great memories, some of the coolest and funniest stuff in wrestling ever. Spike Dudley was involved with, but I mean, it's freaking Bruce Hart.
And he wasn't afraid to take a bump either.
That's right.
That's true. Let's move on here. Brad Armstrong versus AJ Styles. I'm going to tell you right now, to me, I would love this match if this would ever actually have been able to happen. And I'm going to tell you right now, to me, while I would love to see Brad Armstrong move on to the second round, I think just the worldwide reputation and the countless success that he's had, you got to give the nod to AJ Styles.
Yeah, I'm going with AJ.
I'm going with AJ.
And I am going with AJ as well, only because there have been few stories in professional wrestling worth writing about. I think the AJ Styles story will compete with the story of Mankind in his first book. When AJ decides to put that book together that encapsulates his career, I think it's going to be one of the best ever. I mean, all those years in TNA and eventually coming over to the E and having the amount of success that he's having almost like a second full career in WWE. It's got to be AJ Styles.
No, I'm going to go maybe for a third because you're totally leaving out his time as a leader of the Bullet Club in New Japan also.
That's fair. Even though the Bullet Club stuff was a little seasonal, I'll give you that. So 3 careers.
Yeah. And our last match of the first round here, and we're going to come back to a comment that Aaron Wallace made here in just a moment once we get AJ moved over, is Ricochet taking on Dr. Wagner.
I'm going Dr. Wagner.
Going Wagner as well.
Yeah, I like Ricochet, but I'm going Dr. Wagner.
And I'm going to go ahead and go for the sweep for Dr. Wagner, defeating Ricochet in the first round. And Night Owl, I know as you're watching the chat feed, there's one comment that Aaron Wallace made just a few minutes ago that I think really can summarize some people's opinion in the first round. Bruce Hart makes it, but Owen does not. I have to say, to me, that's the summary of the first round right there.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say this?
Fucking bullshit!
No, but same token too, though, without a golden ticket, we don't get Dwayne Gill to come on the program tonight. So again, I think everybody.
I'm going to be hearing that nonstop for a long time too.
What do you mean? What do you mean we don't get Dwayne Will to come on the show tonight, bro? The Night Owl makes the call, and the legends show out, bro. Haven't you learned that already, man? Isn't that? Come on, man.
That
get
is
with
true,
the program,
Night
bro.
Owl.
That makes the call. We get the legends in the building.
Ready for this one, guys?
Yeah.
First round of Wrestle Madness has taken us almost 2 hours.
Well, we started closer to about 7:30 Central Time, so really about an hour and a half. But you know what? No more graphics, no more nonsense. It's time to get to brass tacks before one last important bit of business. Congratulations to Billy Starks for her MLW debut. Congratulations to Alex Kane for getting an opportunity once again to face against Davey Richards. And again, thank you to everybody for supporting yours truly in my commentary endeavors for the last 6 years. Again, for those who missed it earlier, the Night Owl is stepping away from commentary for all of 2023. Skywalker, I'm going to give you about 10, 15 minutes to get through the rest of Wrestle Madness. No graphics, no nonsense, no backstories, no bullshit. We're going to wrap this thing up tonight.
Well, I'm going to throw one more out there, too, one more shout-out, and that one Jeremy's going to know, and that's the Mr. Extraordinary Benjamin Trust, who is going to finally be able to silence the snitch this Saturday at
Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Sure hope so.
It's not going to happen. The snitches, it's the snitch's time.
I'll tell you right now, Joe, and then we're going to move on to round number 2. The snitch has not been successful yet, and I'm going to tell you right now, being a broadcast journalist alongside the Maestro, this Saturday, it's going to happen again. He is going to lose. Let's move on to
Well, gentlemen, I've got some bad news. There will be no more ties. You know why? Because I am bringing my ace in the hole, a man who is highly entertaining, who will probably be a champion after this Saturday night. Ladies and gentlemen, the FWWC's very own, the Alpha. Let's
thank you,
go,
gentlemen.
Baby. Let's go. The Alpha is here.
Good to be here.
Here we go, gentlemen.
We'd love to have you on an introductory speech and all that, but Skywalker, we've got many rounds to get through, and we got about 10 minutes to do it, so let's
get to the
go.
All righty, here we go, gentlemen. Round number 2. First bracket, Rey Mysterio versus Angel Acevedo. Jones.
I'm going with Rey Mysterio.
Night Owl?
Rey Mysterio.
Alpha?
I had to look up Angel Acevedo real quick because I'm going to be honest, I'm not too familiar. So that's probably a sign that I should go with Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio.
Good call.
I'm going to throw Angel Acevedo out there, but Mysterio will move on.
Luke, he
Next
knows you're
on
a
the
true
list.
fan.
Next on the list, Gerald Briscoe and Super Crazy.
I'll go first. Gerald Briscoe.
Yeah, I'm going Briscoe.
I don't know. I gotta go Briscoe. I feel like I gotta go with my gut on that.
Briscoe.
Give me the match one more time.
Briscoe versus Super Crazy.
JB.
All righty.
Just for all the WWE stuff.
Of course.
Okay. Our next match, the American Dragon Bryan Danielson versus Nightmare Danny Davis.
I'll go first on this one.
Yes. You can't hit me with that.
I'm going second on this.
I'm going with DB.
I'm going. It said we got 3 for DB or BD, however you want to call it. I'm going for the Nightmare.
Okay.
I just want this match. I don't even care who wins because I just want to see these two like leather the crap out of each other. I hate to do it only because he's at like the best point in his career right now, and I love his work. It's DB. It's got to be
all day.
All right.
All day, man. It's.
And our last match of the first round.
Second round too.
El Santo taking on the man we had earlier this evening, Dwayne Gill.
Oh.
All right, I have a quick question as we go through this. Nightmare Jones.
I can't.
Okay, hang on.
Lord.
Night Owl, do you have a golden ticket?
Only golden ticket is
I do not. But I have a suggestion, and if somebody wants to use your golden ticket, that's fine. I'm going to cover the screen. Okay, no one will be visible. If you think it should be Dwayne Gill, put up a number 1. If you think it should be El Santo, put up a number 2. No one will be able to see anybody. Okay, but I'm going to cover the screen, and when I count down from 3 to 1, everybody say it. If someone has a golden ticket, I got to respect that.
Wait, you said number 2 for El Santo?
That's right. Santo's number 2. Dwayne Gill is number 1. Are you guys ready for this?
Yep.
Are you guys ready for this? This is so intense. Oh my gosh. All right. 3, 2, 1. Dwayne Gill.
Well earned. I'm just glad
the fact you went through the trouble of getting him on the show about this.
It's no trouble. It's
right,
no trouble.
That's enough for me.
Bro, I'm a member of the board of directors of the FWWC. It's no trouble. All I did was pick up the phone and call the man. Just so
Let's move on to the next set of matchups. Sean Waltman versus Dick Steinborn.
X-Pac.
I gotta agree with X-Pac.
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 All day long.
Carp, you going for the sweep? All right. Next matchup. Jericho and Psychosis.
Ooh.
It's got to be the Ocho. It's the Ocho.
This match might have happened already. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I just can't. I love Jericho too much. He's influenced me way too much, and he's still wrestling.
I'm sensing a little ageism, but at the same time, I sing Judas every time it comes on. So I gotta go with CJ.
Nobody will convince me that this man doesn't still have it when he surprised everybody dressed up as Pentagon in the Tokyo or wherever he was. That was the most marked thing ever after just leaving WWE. Nobody's touching that. It's Jericho.
I still love him using a camera to beat people up as the Painmaker. That's just me.
Jericho.
And I love the Wizard.
All right. Our next matchup. Ultimo Dragon versus Juventud Guerrera.
I gotta go with UD, but that's just me.
Dragon.
I'm with all on you guys on this. Ultimo Dragon. People talk about the belt collector. He's the OG. Sorry.
Yep. OG.
I guess I'll go UD on this one.
All right. And Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle.
Wait. Did that match ever happen?
Yes.
WrestleMania 20, and he had the really cool spot where he unbuckled his shoe and he went for the ankle lock, and then he got him in the roll up.
Okay, can I go first on this one?
Yes.
Can I go first on this one? Because of the TNA stuff, because of the Olympic stuff, and because of the comeback story, I gotta go with.
All right.
No, I'm going with Kurt. That's for Sonny Mayo right there. That one's for my boy Sonny. I'm going with Kurt Angle.
I'm gonna echo the sentiment. Kurt Angle.
Okay. I will say, because of his New Japan stuff, because of his WCW stuff, because of his comeback, and because of his WWE stuff, I'm going Eddie Guerrero.
Yep, I'm going Eddie.
2-2.
Oh man.
2-2.
All right. Well, here's my case. I have to go with Eddie, and that's because while I do give Angle the credit about what he's done after this time in WWE, I like to think that because we've already seen what Eddie is capable of prior to his passing, and the fact that he's had Angle's number, I like to think that if this man was still alive and they were feuding, that we would get a repeat of just that. But it would be probably the closest callback to all of their previous matches.
This is definitely the closest matchup that we've seen so far tonight, in my opinion.
Without a
Oh my
doubt.
God.
All right. Well, let's go ahead here. We're going to move on to the next match. We have Les Thornton taking on Nelson Royal.
I'm going to go first. I'll go Les Thornton.
If I'm not mistaken, both of these men swept their matchups.
Correct.
Yes.
But I'm going with Nelson.
I'm going Thornton.
I think I gotta go Thornton.
All right. Well, at this point, it is official. Thornton has moved on. The next match, Prince Devitt versus Hiro Matsuda.
Oh man,
that's a tough one. Oh my gosh.
Why you gotta do Devitt?
Yeah, I love Prince. I love the Prince. The innovator of the Bullet Club. I gotta go with Prince. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
What have you done for me lately?
Matsuda.
You know what? It's been a nice run, but I'm going with Matsuda.
Ooh.
This is gonna pain me to say because I actually model the Alpha heavily off of Devitt to the point that I use the coup de grace, but I have to go Matsuda. It's just, he's a pillar. It's classic. Like, Devitt is a fantastic wrestler. Don't get me wrong. But if we're talking peak Matsuda, like pinnacle, like his absolute best time in his life, and they squaring up, it's done. it's
done. What are you talking about? Finn Balor was cut short. His leg was literally cut out from underneath him during his peak of his career. Not to mention that he started one of the most influential factions in pro wrestling history that is still alive and going today. And I will add that Prince Devitt ain't done yet. My man still got 8 to 10 years in the business left. So let's have this conversation again when his career is actually over. But that's just
I agree. No, I agree. But my answer to you is that while he is doing a phenomenal job, he never won the main title in NJPW. He was only juniors champion. And as far as WWE goes, he was a fantastic NXT champion, but it's easy to be a big fish in a little pond. No offense to NXT. And he only
want to go through that roster while he was champion? You really want to do that? You want to go through that roster while he was champion? You want to have that exercise? And also, we both know that he left MJPW a year too early. He would have been the champion. We both know this.
Give him enough time. I know.
All right. Anyway, that's fair. Right. Let's move on.
Vern Seibert and Christian Cage. Vern Seibert and Christian Cage.
I'm going with CC. I love his intro music.
I gotta go with Christian Cage, man.
I think Seibert's done because I'm going Christian Cage.
There we go.
Nightmare will be back, by the way, guys. He will be back.
And our last match, bracket 3 for this round, Ray Mendoza versus Jushin Thunder Liger.
Liger.
It's gotta be Liger.
I'm going Mendoza, but Liger.
I respect you for that answer.
Liger or Mendoza there, Jonesy.
Liger.
All right. Final bracket for round number 2. Jeff Hardy versus Tajiri.
That's an easy one. I will go Jeff Hardy.
Hardy.
I think it's Hardy.
Hardy.
All day.
Clean sweep, Hardy.
All right, next, Dynamite Kid versus Shawn Michaels.
He's just a sexy
Dynamite Kid.
Oh, I'm going Shawn Michaels.
Dynamite Kid.
HBK all day.
Oh, it's 2-2, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
It's on your shoulders.
Dynamite Kid, baby.
Though there are still a few golden tickets.
There's one and it is
around.
There is one and it's mine.
You don't want to like what do you call that?
James
Filibuster
Boats
yourself?
in
You don't want to filibuster yourself?
No, I'm not the American government. We're not doing that.
All right.
Okay. Hey, let it be noted. Let it be noted that I tried at the beginning of this show to make sure that the two best wrestlers made it to the final, and it is Jeremy Karp that is eliminating Shawn Michaels from this competition. Just Skywalker, make a note of this because the Dynamite Kid sounds great, and it's going to make his friends think that he's really knowledgeable in pro wrestling. Bro, you know Dynamite Kid, that's really cool. But, bro, you're leaving out the showstopper, a man whose nickname is Mr. WrestleMania. And, by the way, his finisher is the most overused wrestling move in professional wrestling today. It's the super kick. Jeremy Karp, I am pleading with you to please change your mind. Bro, you want to see Rey Mysterio versus Shawn Michaels at the end of this matchup, right? I think we all want to see that, bro. Don't be the guy that come on, man. Please change the HBK. I am begging you.
Oh, Lord.
Don't do it, Jeremy. Don't do it. It's a trap.
Dude, all right. Put this in your head. Dynamite Kid versus whomever, and you're trying to sell tickets. You're Triple H. You're Vince McMahon. Who the hell are people going to want to see? The Dynamite Kid versus fucking Dean Malenko? I don't think so, okay? People want to see Rey Mysterio versus Shawn Michaels. Skywalker, before you answer Maestro, I'm going back to Skywalker. I mean, come on, man.
Lord.
Let's be real. Wrestling is more than what happens inside the ring. We all know that.
I'm going to throw a counter proposal here. Next round, Jeff Hardy, Dynamite Kid.
I mean, I'd like to see who can drink more. I'm out of line. I'm out of my bag.
Wow.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next
I'm
one.
definitely not switching now. Dynamite Kid.
Let's keep it moving. I was saying Jeff Hardy.
This is bullshit. I can't believe you just eliminated Shawn Michaels. That's bullshit.
I can't believe you just made a joke of their alcohol issues.
I cannot relate at all.
Tatsumi Fujinami versus Bruce Hart.
Wait a minute. So hang on. What was the consensus on the last one?
Dynamite Kid moved on.
That you switched to HBK.
No, that you can forget it.
Tatsumi Fujinami versus Bruce Hart.
Hey, by the way, how many WrestleManias did Dynamite Kid main event? Can you name? Okay, Karp. Can you name me one championship without looking on Google? Stop Googling. I'm watching you. Name one championship that Dynamite Kid won. Stop Googling, Maestro. I see your right hand working.
I can take it.
Let me tell you something.
Not you.
I'm gonna be clear with you.
Not you, Alpha.
He was a pillar in Japan in Stampede Wrestling. He was the reason why a lot of the wrestlers in today's generation, and don't even get me started about his brethren who's not in this tournament, the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, who just as much deserves to be in this tournament as a lot of others.
He's not a light heavyweight. He was a heavyweight.
He missed the cut. Kurt Angle's not a light heavyweight. Get out of here.
Guy was
Kurt Angle?
Like 6 foot.
All right, let's go back to where we're at here.
Let's go.
Tatsumi Fujinami versus Bruce Hart.
Bruce Hart.
Fujinami.
I'm going with Fujinami.
Wow.
Ooh.
I'm going to make a lot of people mad. I love Fujinami.
And the last match in the second round, AJ Styles versus Dr. Wagner.
AJ.
Wagner.
AJ. It's got to be AJ.
Same.
So how many more rounds are there?
Right now, we're in the round of 16. We've got 2 more rounds. You want to use your golden ticket.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
He's saving it.
All right.
He's going to use it on.
Our
He's
next
in the
bracket.
finals.
Let's go, Gilbert.
Our next
Oh my
bracket.
gosh.
Rey Mysterio and Gerald Briscoe.
Ooh.
Booyaka, booyaka.
Rey
Rey
Mysterio.
I'm Ray all day.
Mysterio.
Briscoe.
Love you, Briscoe, but it's got to be Mysterio.
I can't believe you let Shawn Michaels.
I
out of
can't.
the-
I mean, let me tell
I'm
you something.
so upset with you right now,
One
bro.
side
I
note,
brought you
Luke.
Gilbert. And you can't. Oh my! I'm so
You
mad
brought
at
me
you,
Gilbert to make a joke of me for Owen's sake.
Are you
Okay?
kidding me right now? How did I know who you were gonna pick? I was trying to surprise you, bro.
It was because it
You
happened
picked wrong.
afterwards.
You picked wrong.
You pick. Okay, let me tell you something. One last thing, Skywalker. All right. So, of Latina descent over here, Mr. Night Owl.
What do you mean?
You are a man of high ideals, and yet here you are
Occasionally.
talking about El Santo and how iconic and magnificent and majestic he is. Why didn't you pick him
I did. I picked Gilbert.
over El Santo?
Well, I mean, I did. I said number 1. El Santo was 2. Gilbert was 1. 1 was Gilbert. 2 was El Santo. Remember. Alpha, you were watching when he came on, right?
Yes.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, dude, come on.
Okay. I'm good now for a minute.
All right, gentlemen.
Walker, please reel us back in.
All right. Bryan Danielson versus Gilbert.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. It's got to be Danielson for me.
It's got to be
I don't even want to
Danielson.
say it.
I've got to. Like, there's no way that we're going to be able to bring Gilbert over Bryan Danielson.
There is a way.
And if you even think about asking, I'm not doing it.
It's the end of the line, Night Owl.
All right. The decision's been made. The dream of Gilbert has ended in Wrestle Madness.
Realistically, Gilbert would have loved to have him to get this far and to lose to Daniel Bryan. So he gained everything from
Let's
this
also
run.
look at the names that Gilbert did beat in the tournament, and that makes him enough of a winner. He beat Owen
Bullshit!
All right,
And
gentlemen,
El Santo.
we need to move on here. Sean Waltman versus Chris Jericho.
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 Easy.
Oh,
We
wow.
also have Ultimo Dragon taking on Eddie Guerrero.
Ooh.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna go Ultimo.
Ultimo.
I'm with you, Jonesy. I'm going Ultimo Dragon.
Can I get last pick on this? I need a thing.
Have you had last pick yet?
Well,
I
there's
don't know
3
yet.
already for Dragon, so
But I still it's the principle of the thing.
Listen, man. Listen, I'm only gonna.
All right.
Say this.
Hey,
I'm only gonna say, hold on. I'm only gonna say this. Earlier on, you have to account for the fact that they just didn't have enough time. I made the example earlier. That's why Pac is better than Biggie. Biggie was just as good. He only had 2 great albums, even though one of them was a 2-album when we used to make CDs. So that has to be considered. I mean, if your longevity isn't there, that's part of it. So just take that into consideration.
All righty. Well, I'm going with Ultimo.
Well, then I need to be the only stalwart here, and I will die by this ship that's sinking. And I'm going with Guerrero.
well,
Don't forget Skywalker. Don't forget Skywalker. Even though he skipped me on the last one.
And
Prick.
Les Thornton and Hiro Matsuda.
Hold on. We got to get your take on the last one, though.
I did.
He said Dragon.
I did
Yes, a
right.
dragon.
I was early.
My mistake.
He was.
Thornton and Matsuda.
Thornton.
I'm going with Matty Ice.
I gotta go with Matsuda. I'm sticking by it.
Jonesy. Nope. Take a second, Jonesy.
Nightmare.
I said Thornton.
Yes.
Ooh.
And the other one, another great matchup: Christian Cage and Jushin Thunder Liger.
Ooh.
I'm going Liger.
Liger.
Yeah, Liger. I'm sorry, Cage.
I just remember that match he had with Tyler Breeze in NXT, and they were like, "This is Jushin Thunder Liger's last match," and he's had like 80 matches after that.
Yeah. Which?
All right.
Hey, did you see Jushin last
wait.
match? Which one?
Robert, can I get my pick in? What the?
Well, get your pick in.
I'm going with Liger.
Yeah, we don't care. No.
Next one. Jeff Hardy taking on the person that defeated Shawn Michaels, the Dynamite Kid.
Dynamite Kid.
Dynamite Kid, baby. Wait
Hardy.
a minute. This is the round of 16, right?
This is the round of 16. Yes.
Okay. Dynamite Kid.
I'm saying Hardy.
Yeah. I'm going Dynamite Kid.
It's a done deal.
All righty then.
And then the last match, Tatsumi Fujinami and AJ Styles.
Ooh.
I'll break the ice. Oh,
I'm going AJ.
AJ.
It's got to be the face that runs the place. It's AJ Styles.
I would go Fujinami, but again, I'm outvoted.
He
We're
really
now
did
into
prop
the
up. By the way, he really did prop up SmackDown for like 2 full years. Shout out to Styles. Yeah.
16 and 17 were huge.
We are now down to the Elite Eight. First matchup: Rey Mysterio and Bryan Danielson.
Ooh.
I have a question. Who the hell's got a lawnmower going outside their house at 10 p.m. Central Time?
That might just be my fan.
I'm not going to make a joke because I had to go to HR.
Okay, my bad. Fuck the HR department.
Mysterio or Danielson?
Mysterio.
This is where the fun goes away.
Yes. This is where we stop being friends.
Stopped a while ago.
I'm going American Dragon. It's got to be Danielson. Have they actually wrestled?
I think they have, but I don't recall the result.
It's so strange to me. Feels like that match books
Who
itself.
you got?
Hmm?
Who do you got?
I was Danielson.
Okay. So we I'm going Rey Mysterio.
Oh no. You gotta leave this at Night Owls.
You know, I have to be sincere, and I'll keep it short here. This won't be the first time I've been called a rage trader. But the best moments of my life with my children, when all 3 of them gave a shit about wrestling, was
okay.
I'm going with Daniel Bryan, man. Bryan
Yes.
Danielson. That moment, that yes movement was what brought me and my kids back to pro wrestling in a way that I can't even describe. I love Ray Ray. I got to meet him at CAC. Shout out to Herb and the boys, Brian Blair and everybody. But damn, Daniel
All
Bryan.
right.
That's all I gotta say.
Next one: Chris Jericho and Ultimo Dragon.
Ooh. I'll break the ice here, and just because I'm including his AEW run right now, it's got to be Jericho. It's got to be. I'm sorry.
I'll step in. I'm going the other way. Ultimo Dragon.
I respect that decision. It's close. Too close to call.
And I don't even want to be near to last on this one. I got to go with the guy that I would want to see wrestle and go see his concert. I got to go with Chris Jericho.
All right. I am going to go Chris Jericho.
I got to go Chris Jericho.
All right. We're going to move on here. Half of our final 4 has been chosen. Les Thornton versus Jushin Thunder Liger.
It's been a fun run for Les Thornton, but I think at this point it might have to be the end.
Liger.
I'm Liger.
I'm with Maestro and I'm with Jones. It's got to be Liger.
And I'm with the Maestro, Jones, and the Alpha.
I gotta agree with it as well. And our final to get to the final four, the Dynamite Kid versus AJ Styles.
It doesn't matter because Jeremy's going to use his gold.
I am.
He has to.
I am using my golden ticket.
Let it be noted.
The Dynamite Kid to the final four.
Let it be noted.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let it be noted.
I love you all so much.
All right. Well,
let
gentlemen,
it be noted.
We're now down to the final four. If you thought last round was tough,
let it be noted that the Snitch Jr. over here eliminated both AJ Styles and the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Maestro, your attempt to be a heel tonight has been you got all the badges, my guy.
Somebody mark the time. It is 10:01.
These final three matchups.
It is November 22nd.
Honestly, I think we would all agree could be WrestleMania show stealers.
I say
match number one: Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho.
I'm going Jericho.
This hurts. I need last pick on this. I'm sorry. I need to think this over.
I'm going Danielson. Because
I think Skywalker should go last on this one.
Already went.
Yeah, he already went.
Alpha asked for permission to go last, so I gave it to him.
Okay, fair enough. He is our guest after all. By the way, do you have a matchup at Survivor Series this upcoming Saturday?
I do have a matchup. I'm glad I was trying to keep it casual tonight, but if I have to take the opportunity to promote my match, then I absolutely will, but I'll make it short and sweet so we can get straight to this. And that is Funky Flex. You need to watch yourself because the Alpha is coming for the title. I'm going to raise it to a whole new level because we are in the ladder match. Some would consider the dangerous match in wrestling history. But make no mistake, we are making history, not just as one of the greatest ladder matches in wrestling of all time, but as the greatest coronation of one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in modern wrestling, and that is the Alpha. So you better count your seconds, buddy, because once we step through those ropes, it's 1, 2, 3, knocking you out on the floor, taking that belt, what's rightfully mine. And just to throw it out there, Night Owl, I know of somebody that I want to have a word with in the future, but I feel like tonight isn't the night for that.
Well, listen, we're going to leave all our FWWC drama to the side for just a moment because it is Wrestle Madness 4, but I will say this. You have earned your opportunities within the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, if you didn't know. All I can say is that matchup this upcoming Saturday for FWWC Survivor Series is going to be just as fierce as the ending of Wrestle Madness 4 because I honestly have had all this time and I still don't know who I'm going to pick. Skywalker, bring us back up to speed. Who's matching up right now?
We have Danielson and Jericho. You're next on the list, and we right now could be ending this right now.
I got to go with Jericho, man. He beat Austin and Rock in the same night. I can't get over it. I never will get over it. It's Chris Jericho for me.
Alpha, it's all on you.
I hate that it is, but I'm glad that I have the decision because these are two of my favorite wrestlers, period, especially that they do Canada proud. And I gotta do it. It's gotta be Jericho. He has been the biggest influence on my perspective on wrestling, not only just from a fan perspective, but as somebody who's a pseudo performer. And to the point that it's I'm trying to understand him as a person. And I don't know if you guys have seen his Hot Wings interview, but it definitely gets a feel for his perspective in the grand scheme of wrestling and why I respect him as a person and why I want to read his book.
All right. Well,
aside.
Let's go ahead and move to the other half of the bracket. Jushin Thunder Liger versus the Dynamite Kid.
I gotta stick with my boy, Dynamite Kid. I gotta stick with him.
What was that championship he won, Jeremy, that you were looking up on Google for us?
You know what?
What was that big match he had against who?
The amount of matches he had in the Tokyo Dome, the amount of promotions worldwide from Britain, Japan, Canada, Mexico, the Americas. Look at all even Bret Hart has said the Dynamite Kid is one of his biggest inspirations in professional wrestling.
I'm going to throw it right now. My pick, Jushin Thunder Liger.
I'm going to add to that. I got to stick with it. Innovator of the shooting star press, it's got to be Liger.
Night Owl?
Jonesy, I would love to let you go last year because it's obvious for me. Name recognition comes into huge play here. A name that's still relevant today outside of the Maestro's delusional mind. Ladies and gentlemen, it's got to be Jushin Thunder Liger.
Well, I'm going to be the pity vote with Jeremy. I would go with the Dynamite Kid.
All right, well.
All right, gentlemen. It's now time. The main event of Wrestle Madness 4. In one corner, you have the Ocho, Le Champion, Y2J, the Ayatollah of rock and roll, the man of 1,004 holds, Chris Jericho, taking on Jushin Thunder Liger. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the Maestro. Your pick for who wins Wrestle Madness 4.
Well, unfortunately, this was Wrestle Madness 4, not Soundtrack Madness 4. So, Judas may be in my mind, but it's not in my vote. And I'm going with one of the most innovative professional wrestlers of all time, a man who, once again, has been extensive around the world, multi-time light heavyweight champion in multiple promotions. He has spanned every country conceivable when it comes to professional wrestling. And like Alpha said, the innovator of the shooting star press, the one, the only, Jushin Thunder Liger.
Great choice, Maestro. Great choice.
Night Owl, let's go ahead and go with you.
I hate to be a contrarian here, but there's only one dude in the professional wrestling world that I have to watch every single week, whether it's him wrestling, defending the ROH championship, or he's just on the microphone. It's who guys like The Miz, MJF, and others aspire to be. It's the Ocho, Chris Jericho.
All right.
Nightmare Jones.
It's for me. This is a pretty easy one. I've got to go Chris Jericho.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to go ahead and Alpha. I'm going to have to leave the fate in your hands because to me, 11 times as the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, the length of the career, the sheer level of competition, my vote goes for Jushin Thunder Liger.
I will say thank you for the opportunity for letting me call this as close as it is, just to know that everybody cares about both these wrestlers very much, myself included. I adore the innovation on Liger's end. I adore the innovation on the Ocho's end. And truly what it comes down to is they are two wrestlers cut from the same cloth, just different sides of the world. And yes, they've managed to square up more than once, which is like a testament to both of their careers that they've crossed paths more than once.
Crazy.
But when you talk about, influence, when you talk about, what people aspire to be, people aspire to wrestle like Liger, people aspire to be Chris Jericho. And I think that's what makes it the most hardest to pick, because it's either the heart or the soul of wrestling. You have the work rate versus, the persona, the person that they wear on. And when it comes down to that and you have to ask what I think is more important, it's like choosing between two children. But if you really had to put a gun to my head, it has to be Jericho. I have to give it to him.
There you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, by a vote of 3-2, the winner of Wrestle Madness 4 is Chris Jericho. And guys, I got to tell you, even though we had some moments of joking around earlier on, I think you would all agree with me that when it came down to it, we got down to like from the final 16 on, tonight's tournament was nothing short of a stellar all-star dream tournament right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we wrap up tonight's program?
Oh, just
Wow.
just thank you guys for allowing me to come back and be a part of this. It's been awesome. It was great, seeing Jeremy and Luke and Renee and the Alpha. So yeah, good stuff.
Alpha, we'll give you the first opportunity here to do your official sign off. Obviously, you're a longtime supporter of the Wrestle Talk podcast, also a member of the FWC. You're a knowledgeable wrestling fan, and I think you illustrate what we were created for. And this is an opportunity for pro wrestling fans that go beyond the surface to hashtag Let's Talk Wrestling. Your overall thoughts on tonight's show, and how do you feel coming out of it?
It's just nice to be surrounded by people who love wrestling. Like at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing that I've learned the more I watch wrestling is that just learn to enjoy people. It's like, I know with how fast everything goes and how, we like to draw battle lines because we're so used to the Monday Night Wars and everything. But guys, you don't have to fight for the channel anymore. You can decide to watch them on any of the days of the week that you're bored, dude. You don't have Monday night and Wednesday night. Just pick one. That's all it is. It's not hard. And competition is healthy. Like at the end of the day, WWE can make mistakes and AEW can make mistakes. And we as people are, I don't want to make this drag on too long, but we as people are allowed to enjoy and critique them for what they are as long as it adds to the product. Because when we critique stuff, they're going to aspire to be better and they're going to be healthy, and competition breeds more wrestling, and more wrestling means more stuff for us. So at the end of the night, guys, just appreciate wrestling. That's all it is. Hashtag enjoy wrestling.
Which, by the way, I know you weren't here for this, but Jamie Hayter versus the interim champion, Tony Storm. That's why I watch, man. Alpha, thank you so much for being here. All the best of luck to you this upcoming Saturday, man. You go chase your dreams. And here's a guy. I hear there's a guy out there who holds a certain championship that you're after, man. Good luck to you in your pursuit of him and all of your goals in professional wrestling, brother. Good night.
Thank you very much. Have a good one, guys.
Adios.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now here. First thing, we need to make a hashtag, give Gilbert a figure. I think that's what our new hashtag needs to be. Give Gilbert a figure. That's what we need to post right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Again, phenomenal Wrestle Madness 4. Again, we had lots of people pop in. We had the Alpha. We had Dwayne Gill come on the program tonight, guys. We had Big Daddy P. Gilbert action figure. Hashtag Gilbert action figure. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's been great. Always great here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Thank you to all of our great viewers. As you notice on the bottom of the screen, we are putting out the GoFundMe for our good friend Stuart Kemp, his wife passing away back on the end of October. If you wish to help out, please make it a point to click on the GoFundMe. Would be greatly appreciated. Guys, I got to tell you right now, this leads to a great holiday season, but it also leads to this Saturday night, the Maestro and I calling commentary, Dynamo Pro Wrestling Thanksgiving Slam. Mr. Extraordinary Benjamin Trust defending the Dynamo Pro Championship against the Snitch. I know that Jonesy's already gone, but I'm going to tell you right now, this Saturday, if you haven't bought your ticket, dynamoprowrestling.bigcartel.com. It's going to be a great night of pro wrestling. And Night Owl, Jeremy, I'm going to tell you, it was a great night right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, just like it is each and every Tuesday night. And at this point, that's pretty much all I've got for tonight, gentlemen.
Maestro, you are so eloquent and capable in the way that you close out these shows. And I want to let it be known that you and I are the exemplary example of what it means to differ yet coexist.
Oh, yeah.
What
That's
few people know about me is that I grew up in Boca Raton, Florida. Look it up, per capita, the most Jewish people of any city in all of the United States. And despite what our differences might be, Jeremy Carp and I will forever be linked in this. We effing love professional wrestling. He loves the Dynamite Kid. I love Chris Jericho. And guess what? We can have a great time talking about it for hours, just like we did here tonight. Maestro, I'll let you have the last word. I just want to take a moment and say this. Wrestle Talk Podcast family, supporters of FWWC, and supporters of the Night Owl, also supporters of El Mata, thank you. Thank you for a great 6 years on the commentary table. Thank you for 400 plus episodes of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Thank you for 10 years of the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. And thank you so much to those that not only decide to support us, but also invest in us, Maestro. You know how important this is as a business owners for other people, other businesses to support you. Royal Mills Transportation, Rathbun Engraving, Nobleman's Barber Lounge, which again, my son's got a haircut tomorrow at 2:00. We'll be there. Hopefully we'll see you. There's some great pizza down that part of town too, if you guys are in the area. Kincaid Arcade, I-70 Sports Media, Maestro, you guys are absolutely killing it. You're breaking all sorts of records. You're doing conferences, doing all kinds of incredible stuff. Keep it up, baby. Little Popeye Designs. I know I didn't get a chance to show this off too much tonight, but of course, the Wrestle Talk podcast,
beautiful.
Tumblr, the thing is beautiful. And of course, you guys have heard plenty about it tonight, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. The support and the encouragement that I receive from this pipeline alone is enough to carry me on for way longer than I'm going to live, Maestro. So thanks to all of you. Thank you to my wonderful family that puts up with a 3-hour and 20-minute broadcast midweek. I love you guys. God bless you. Thank you, Big Daddy P. Dewan, keep killing it. And everybody else who's out there that loves professional wrestling, God bless you. And we'll see you guys next week for episode 319.
419.
Yes, 419.
It flies by. We don't even know.
Of the WTP. I'm out, y'all.
Well, let me tell you something. The Night Owl is truly one of a kind. God love him always and forever. And yes, he is absolutely right. I mean, the best part is that we can differ on things within wrestling, but we love wrestling as a whole. And all jokes and jabs aside, we care deeply about each other like brothers would. So I'm extremely grateful to be a part of this. Look, Dynamite Kid made it to the Final Four, so I'll take it. Nevertheless, I'm telling you right now, Wrestle Madness 4 was just as wonderful as the other 3, and I look forward to Wrestle Madness 5. And Dean, thank you so much for tuning in as long as you have. Yes, a 3-hour, 20-minute broadcast is one hell of a one, especially when I got another broadcast tomorrow night with Roundabout Sports alongside James Knox. But let me tell you something, folks. There's more important things in the world out there, and that is your mind, your mental health. And we have here at the bottom of the screen the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, the Crisis Lifeline. Just dial 988. It's available 24/7, 365, 366 on leap years. It is such an important thing to know that you are never alone in this world. The road of life is not one that you should have to travel alone. So understand that you are always loved, and it just takes a simple phone call, a simple message, and that person will be there to help. Because you are so loved. Like Big Daddy P always talks about, the great good graces of the Lord above and how much he loves us. Well, there's always people on this earth that love you. And I am just so honored to be a part of this. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Have a wonderful night, folks. And remember, life is a book full of empty pages just waiting to be written in. Make your lives worth reading. This is the Maestro signing off.